So I went down with like a minute left. I got back online with about less than 10 seconds left now. So I'm just going on mic early. No, Dr. Robotnik, he's trying to sabotage the stream. Because he knows every time I play this game, I always win. So, alright. Nah. I'm gonna give like a minute to make sure things hold stable. Yeah, just give it about a minute. Oh. Why am I having this problem now all of a sudden? I specifically did the last stream so that all these problems would be out the way. Now I'm having weird problems. But, I'm looking at the countdown. That's going smoothly. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, I'm just doing some behind the scenes stuff real quick. Excuse me. It's been a long time since I haven't been able to instantly go on the second Okay. This is for later on in the stream, but let's get into it. Okay. So we're doing Sonic the Hedgehog on Game Gear. Played off of my own original copy of the game on my Analog Mega SG, which, if you're not familiar with this little system here, where is it? I thought I had this on screen ready to go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so there's... Oh, no, that's not it. Alright, there's my Analog Mega SG. It's a little FPGA console. Not having Olive Garden delivered during the stream. Hey, TurboGrafx, how you doing? Yeah, so we had a little technical hiccups at first, but it looks all stable now. And in fact, the console is no longer here. This is my old setup where I had it on a table sitting next to... Excuse me, that's my ticker. We need to have the ticker. Alright. Yeah, I had it sitting on a little table next to my computer. But now it's actually sitting in front of me on the very table that my computers are on. But it's kind of cool having the system right in front of me like this. So we just got to put the cartridge into its adapter so it can fit into the Mega SG. And we're going to play Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm playing using the Genesis controller. Last time I played this, did I? Yeah, last time I think it was I used the Master System controller. And when I did that, now later in the stream, if I feel like it, after this, we're going to watch the Sonic the Hedgehog movie with Jim Carrey and James Marsden, which runs about I don't know if it's like an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever. You need a US or Canada Amazon Prime Video account for that. It may work in other countries too, but I know it works in the US and Canada. If I still feel like it after that, we'll play Sonic the Hedgehog on Master System. We may either play the actual cartridge or we may play the Valley Bell mod, which adds FM sound capabilities. This was basically my first modern... Oh, we're having you're doing my stream breakfast in bed style, huh? You always thought switching they thought I was switching cameras being all fancy? Oh, no. Now this image here is actually the first in-game depiction of the island that this game is supposed to take place on. Because the manual for the Japanese version of this game also mentions this island, but it was never depicted in the game. So when Ancient made this version for Master System and Game Gear, they went ahead and added a depiction of Sonic's world with a map depicting each course and its layout over the island as you get closer and closer to Scrap Brain Zone. Now they weren't really... oh shucks. Didn't nail that the way I hoped. Now the way... I guess they didn't really feel confident in trying to replicate the loop-de-loops. There we go, we got some rings out of that. They didn't feel confident trying to recreate the loop-de-loops with this 8-bit hardware. They did in later 8-bit Sonic games by different developers. So they replaced the loop-de-loops with these ramps that give a good sense of height and speed. And this level is also the only level in the game that has the Super Shoes icon. With the Super Shoes icon, you know, letting Sonic run especially fast. I believe this may be the longest horizontal stage in the entire game. So they figured this was the place to put the Super Shoes to try to recreate some sense of speed and height and kinetic energy that the Genesis game did. Yeah, because you have a breakfast in bed style with my stream, because I know it's still very early over on the West Coast where you're based, Galactic Boy. Now, I had to run out because I had to wake up early, but I know TurboGrafx last night was playing Gottlieb Black Hole last night, which is a machine I never saw before. I don't know the technical term, so excuse me, but I know like the flashy spinny mirror thing. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Whatever is that called the backboard? I'm not sure. I know that's kind of more of a basketball term, which is kind of funny that I know a basketball term like backboard as opposed to the official technical common parlance pinball term, because I haven't played basketball since I was forced to in high school, whereas I actually like pinball. Yep, we got some 8-bit Sonic going on. I know all of you have seen, and all of you have been regulars in my stream before, but maybe not all of you have been around for a Sonic stream necessarily. I'm gonna move my chat box a little further down. Yeah, let's move it a little further down. Now this game is one of the few retro games, like the few 8-bit platformers that I could pretty much beat on command. And I can beat it. I mean, it took a bit of practice on stream, because I've been playing this game since '91. I never beat it on stream until I started streaming about a little more than a year ago in May 2020. By the end of May or early July, I had beaten the game at least once. In fact, I nearly beat the game my first stream, but I got a game over at the end just because I was trying to learn some of the techniques for some of the later stages of the game. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the 8-bit version of Sonic the Hedgehog, one thing you'll notice is... Now, one thing I want to notice, one technical detail. Because of the way my capture card works, it tends to show either Sonic on screen or the shield on screen at once. They're actually flickering back and forth rapidly to create a transparency effect. Same with the Chaos Emerald here, and the Chaos Emeralds are laid out within the stages themselves. And... because you saw the bonus stage there, it was more of a platforming stage, unlike the more sort of topsy-turvy Genesis version. And I guess they didn't feel comfortable replicating that with 8-bit hardware, so they put the Chaos Emerald in stages within the platforming stages instead of putting them in the special stages. And then had the special stages just be a place where you could fill up on extra bonus points, extra lives, continues. And being a little kid who wasn't very talented with games, getting those extra lives and continues, and actually that was also true just going back into this game, trying to sort of play it for the first time since the 90s. The entire part is the back box. The part of the spinning disc is the back glass. The more modern games use an opaque sheet called a translite. Okay, but I know that was a really trippy effect. Like if that was, you know, in the corner and in like in a gas station or a bar or something, that would have definitely gotten my attention. It was very attractive, but I could imagine I kind of came in, when I walked into the stream, it was kind of on the back half of, I guess, you and your pals discussing the pros and cons of that a bit. But I can imagine that maybe being a bit distracting or disorienting if you're actually the player up at the time. Yeah, getting extra lives and continues was a pretty essential part of this game, because I really needed those to get me as far in the game as I could. as a kid, and as an adult, getting back into this for the first time. No, but yeah, well, that's what I was mentioning when I was talking about the map screen. There's the continue box. There we go. Now this box, I think the Master System version of this has a very tricky. The stages are kind of similar. Like, I don't know. I feel like the Master System version of this, which was the original version programmed, but it really didn't go on to be the sort of premiere version. Because it's funny, ancient Japanese developer developed this in Japan for a Japanese audience, and they developed it with the Master System version as the lead version in terms of the development cycle. And then they adapted it to Game Gear, and I believe they released simultaneously both 8-bit versions on Game Gear and Master System. But, am I... Yeah, I can scoot over a bit. I'm a little off-center. Things like that annoy me. They made this with the Master System as the premiere version, and that's what I was getting at. This screen here, because this is the earliest in-game depiction of the island Sonic lives on, when they made the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which we're going to see later for those who stick around for that, they actually used that image as the basis for how Sonic's world was depicted. Now, in this version of Sonic the Hedgehog, and the original Genesis version, all 3 stages had time limits, all 3 stages were full-fledged platforming stages, and the 3rd stage of each act, I know Sonic's getting impatient with me. Excuse me, Sonic, I'm talking about how awesome your game is. No, please excuse me. Now, the 3rd stage was a full platforming stage plus a boss battle with Robotnik, and this version, the platforming stage, I mean, the 3rd stage is really just nothing but the Robotnik fight and a short lead up to it. To make up for the fact that you don't have a full platforming challenge in the 3rd stage, they made it so you have to do the bosses in a perfect run. Now, you can beat these stages. You can beat these stages with your shield intact and carry the shield onto the next stage. And that's the only way that you can carry the state. You could go into a boss battle and get away with taking a hit because there are no rings to save you. But to make up for the fact that there are no rings, they added a very easy-to-find 1-up box in each of the Robotnik battles. Now, you notice how I defeated that boss battle in mere moments. That being, of course, my first ever boss battle I ever encountered in my entire life. And you'll notice how easily I defeated him. In the Master System version, which was the original version, because of the aspect ratio of the screen, you don't have to deal with the screen crunch, so they're able to have a larger arena where Robotnik was only accessible when he swooped down at you every several cycles, which made for a longer boss fight. It's a frame-perfect trick to be able to damage Robotnik when he's up in the sky. It's very difficult to pull off. Fozon, here on Twitch, who is actually the, well, at one point, the world's record holder of the Master System version of Sonic the Hedgehog, and he actually did his summoning style video of the history of the Sonic speedrun, ending with him taking the record. He did it in summoning stealth style because, summoning stealth's probably never going to cover the 8-bit version of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, like I was saying, they really didn't try to just squeeze the Genesis version of this title onto the 8-bit hardware. They played to the 8-bit system's strengths and weaknesses, and they actually, Yuzo Koshiro of Streets of Rage fame, did the music for this version of Sonic the Hedgehog. He rearranged the Genesis tracks and also composed new tracks like this one. This track actually being the basis for Janet Jackson's song Together Again. And this game was 91, and Together Again was a 96 release. So it's definitely the case that Janet Jackson, or someone who works for her creatively, got the real structure of this melody was taken directly for Together Again, which is pretty cool. A piece of trivia there. Now, this physics puzzle was really one of my first encounters with a puzzle in a video game. My dad actually had to get me through this part the first time. Excuse me, I have to take a sip of water. Now, you notice I already have 9 lives. I've already gotten more than 9 lives. Once you have more than 9 lives in this game, you can only view lives greater than 9 while you're on the scoreboard screen in between games. And I don't want to get those rings up there, because I already have 71 rings. If you get between 50 and 99 rings, you will, and beat the stage with between 50 and 99 rings, you will be granted admission to the bonus stage. If you collect one more ring and get 100, you will earn an extra life, but your ring count will reset back down to 0, and you will not be granted access to the special stage. So it's actually more beneficial in terms of collecting rings and points to go ahead and don't stop collecting coins once you get to 50. Because of, once again, working with the technical limitations of the Game Gear, once they got to, when it comes to collecting rings that Sonic's dropped, you cannot do that in this game. If you take damage from an enemy, Sonic instantly loses all his rings. You cannot collect them back. Later Sonic the Hedgehog games, I guess they felt a little more confident with the hardware and what it was capable of, and they did add that capability into later 8-bit Sonic games. Now in the Game Gear version of these special stages, the stages are, all the springs are the purple springs, which are the weakest springs. In the Master System version of this game, they are green, purple, and yellow springs, which all bounce Sonic. Now, do I want to be greedy and try to get a few more rings? No, I'm gonna go ahead and complete the stage. Yeah, there we go. Because you see, I almost lost control there. It's very easy to lose control and get in a cycle where you can't gain control of Sonic and you end up timing out, in which case you don't get to keep the rings. You don't get to keep the rings or 1-ups from collecting rings or your bonus points. You do get to keep continues and any 1-ups that you earned. Yeah, so there are different balancing issues to account for screen crunch. Now here you'll notice this is an auto-scroller. This level's kind of infamous, especially among people who are not fans of this game. It's a little more affectionately held in South and Central America and in Europe, where the Master System, therefore this version of Sonic, was many people's version of Sonic growing up. Whereas in the United States, where people really only encountered this through the Game Gear, and people especially because it was a handheld game, people really kind of were more inclined to think of this as just sort of a rinky-dink handheld version of Sonic, you know, not really worth taking too seriously. And a lot of people say, like, what's wrong with them? How could you put an auto-scroller in a Sonic game? But you have to remember at the time, this is the second Sonic game they ever made. And I was getting at this in the earlier stage and forgot to mention it, but yeah, Uzo Koshiro of Streets of Rage fame composed all the music for this, including arrangements of the 16-bit tracks. And in the ROM of this game, there actually exists a 8-bit rendition of the Marble Zone theme. But Marble Zone does not appear in this game. I guess they decided with Marble Zone's emphasis on traps and lava and high-speed sequences and whatever, I guess they decided it just wasn't a good fit for the 8-bit hardware, and they created a more platforming-oriented stage in this game in the form of this bridge zone. No, this track was the inspiration, provide the kind of the melody for Janet Jackson's 1996 single Together Again. It was also used, I believe, as Tails' theme in Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast. But I never really played enough of Sonic Adventure 1 to really notice that. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, that would have been a really stupid death. I did lose my shield, though, so I have to not be careless. I'm getting pretty good. I'm getting better and better at this game, to the point where I generally do not take a death until the earliest point in which I take a death that wasn't just me being absolutely silly and goofing off, or using an unfamiliar controller, which I did try once when I used the Master System controller. I'm using the Genesis pad, which I am used to. And now I'm gonna tell you actually, now this here, look at this special stage. This is kind of you could say, the forerunner to Sonic Spinball, where they're like, like Sonic, he rolls into a ball, and I can't control that flipper by pressing the A button. Or the 1 button, rather. Well, it's the A button on the Genesis controller, but on Game Gear or Master System it would have been called the 1 button. Well, in this game, actually, both versions of... Oh, yeah, I got the continue. Can I get back up there, though? Can I? Yeah, can I? No, I can't. Got to 80% of the way to getting another one up, but not quite. Now, when we go to the bonus screen, let's see how many extra lives we have. Yeah, 13, I'm definitely not... I'm gonna be going through an extraordinary, a bad luck streak if I end up using all 13 of those lives. TurboGrafx. You really love the music, nostalgic for you. So you're familiar with the 8-bit version of Sonic the Hedgehog, whether it be on Game Gear or Master System. And if you played it on Master System, you're one of the few, because the Game Gear and the Master System version of this was the very last Master System game released in North America in extremely limited quantities using imported European cartridges. You played on Game Gear? Yeah, that's how I played it back in the day. Now, the thing is, with a lot of these bosses, this boss has two. If I duck down either here or in the center here, now, yeah, either in the center of the bridge or in the center, either at the bottom of the bridge or in the center of the arc, Robotnik can't get me. Now, I've never actually owned a Master System. The Analog Mega SG is the first system I actually owned that has that is capable of playing Master System games. And actually, being a lifelong Sega fan, I was a Sega kid in the early 90s. I gotta say, about 90% of my... That was close. 90% of my gameplay time spent with a Genesis controller was actually spent playing Sonic the Hedgehog on stream with my Mega SG, using the Genesis pad. Yay, we got him. Now, because of the screen crunch, they very much simplified this boss fight, took away... In the Game Gear... No, in the Master System version, they are actual pools of water Sonic can fall into, so the boss fight is a little more challenging. Here, there's no fall hazard. You just have to avoid running into Robotnik or getting hit by his bullets. So it's a lot easier in this version. There are different things they tweaked between the Game Gear and Master System versions. A lot of people, especially speedrunners I've seen, tend to consider the Game Gear version much easier. I think that for everything they changed between Master System and Game Gear, I think it's balanced out that both versions are equally just as challenging in their own way. In general, it's a much easier game. Very easy game. Much easier than the 16-bit version, which I have never beaten before. I might have gotten to Scrap Brain Zone once in my life, back on the Wii Virtual Console, which was actually the first version of this game I ever played. I never owned and played I never owned the cartridge for myself until I owned the Analog Mega SG. And the only time I played it at friends' houses, and growing up back in the early 90s, but I never owned it myself. My first time really playing the Genesis version was, I guess, 92 or 93. No, it probably was 92. No later than 93. It had to be 92. We went to a family reunion out of state. It was the longest car trip I'd ever been on at that point in my life, so I was a little kid. And some older cousin or something was with us, and they went to Rent-A-Center. They rented a Sega Genesis. Now, if I talk too much, I'll forget to grab the Chaos Emerald. And I am going for 100% completion of this, because this game has a really great ending if you get all the Chaos Emeralds. And I believe it is a better 100%, and both this and the 16-bit original version of Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, so this is where I have to make that left. Okay, there we go. And both this and the... Now, I actually am going to turn down my personal audio a bit. And just saying, I didn't... If I need to do any balancing between my audio, my microphone audio, and the game audio, let me know. But I really didn't, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, well, we rented a Genesis with Sonic the Hedgehog, and whatever was the first Madden game to come out on the Genesis. I wasn't into Madden, I didn't care about football, I really still don't. But, so my cousin was more into that, but we also got Sonic the Hedgehog, and I was familiar with... I knew there was a Genesis version of Sonic and a Game Gear version. And I might not have even really known the difference between the name of Sega Genesis versus Sega Game Gear. I knew Game Gear because of the name. I just knew that there was a TV version of Sega and a home version. I didn't know about Master System yet. I don't think basically anyone in North America did. And by the way, me forgetting to having such good conversation that I forget to collect the Chaos Emerald there, that is really the one and only barrier between finishing the game with 100%. Because the ending, like both versions of Sonic the Hedgehog, if you complete the game with all the Chaos Emeralds, you get a better ending. And the 100% ending for Sonic the Hedgehog on the 8-bit version, I think is much better than the ending of the Genesis version. And I think it actually plays much better into the themes of Sonic the Hedgehog in general. The only issue with Daydream streaming is that things come up, I guess. You have to watch the VOD for the Sonic Watch Party after all. Aww. Alright, Mecha Kong. You know, I'm barely halfway through the game, so I don't know what you're up to or off to do, but, you might, make it back by the time I start, I'm probably also taking a 10-minute break because I cannot pause the movie once it starts. I don't even know if you're still here anymore. I'm going to take no greater than 10-minute break once I'm done with the game, because once the movie starts, I can't pause it for anything if I have to, go refresh my water, take a stretch or anything. So between, like, a half hour-ish remaining of the stream, just because it's half past noon, I know I'm basically about halfway through the game, because the game takes about an hour. So yeah, another about 40 minutes before I even start the watch party. So who knows, he might be back by then. And TurboGrafx was saying, never rented a console as a kid, your parents would have never paid for it. I remember when Super Nintendo came out, seeing all the local places having them for rent, I was always told no. Oh man. Yeah, it's funny, I didn't actually ask my parents for a Genesis or video games or a Game Gear, they just got it for me. I tended not to ask for things, but I do remember the first time I knew about video games. I just kind of knew that they were, I just remember specifically thinking, like, video games, there's kind of a computerized toy that attaches to the television. That's what I knew about video games. And I knew that there was a Nintendo Entertainment System and Super Nintendo Entertainment System, because NES did come out before I was born, but growing up, the NES and Super NES were still advertised side by side, and it's kind of funny, they don't really see this now so much, but they would still, now this level here, in the Game Gear version, you could scroll downwards. In the Master System original version of this stage, it has ratchet scrolling, in the sense that you cannot, once a platform leaves through the bottom of the screen. Like, I jumped up, and that wooden board down there vanished. In Master System version, once that leaves the screen, if I fall back down there, like, if I can't fall down there anymore in Master System, I would have fell to my death there. So, really, it's just like, what within Sonic's world actually killed him there? Like, come on. So I think in the universe it makes more sense for you to be able to fall back down, and it's fair in general. But I guess the Screen Crunch, they decided it would have been too unfair to make you have to do the whole stage over, just for falling a bit. Now, yeah, I just knew there was NES, and I'm gonna collect the checkpoint box, even though I very rarely need them. Oh no! I got over. See, look, if I had no rings, that would have been it. And that goes our access to the special stage. Fortunately, we don't need that to 100% the game. I already have probably upwards of 17 extra lives, which is definitely more than I'll ever need. And it's not like I need to access the special stage to get the rest of the Chaos Emeralds, so we're still fine. Yeah, I just knew, like, there was Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, because I'm on, I mean, I could say, I'm talking about this, I probably make myself sound a bit older than I really am, but even, like, back then, they would still play ads for stuff like the original Legend of Zelda years after the game came out, and nowadays I don't think they don't really play ads for games past, you know, the couple of months after it comes out. So I remember seeing ads for the original Legend of Zelda, even though the game came out before I was born, which is kind of interesting. I remember it used to come on a lot during the Smurfs, the ad for the original Legend of Zelda, and I know that for sure because I have old videotapes with the commercial breaks on them. Now, the hidden extra life for this stage is down here. Now, they barely spaced this out properly so they could jump up here. So I knew about Mario. Now, they barely spaced this properly so that you could jump back up here. There we go. Sometimes it takes a lot longer than that to jump back up. Now, I'm going to focus for a moment, because this boss fight is often where I take my first death in the game, because this boss fight can be tricky. Robotnik's cannonballs stay on screen well, for, like, there's like this, when the cannonballs leave the screen, there's kind of an exploding animation. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my, oh, I see that, I got him. I got Robotnik, and still took that last, because his cannonball hitbox, the hitbox for his cannonball is still active until the cannonball fully leaves the screen. I came so close to nailing that the first time. That's usually where I take my first death in the game. For my 100th stream, which is gonna be not too about halfway through the month. I think it's the 14th will be my 100th stream. I have my stream schedules out already on my about page. Oh my gosh, on my about page on Twitch. Yeah, so I played any, it's funny, like all my relatives tended to have Nintendo, and then all my friends tended to have Sega. And my whole life really lived, I always lived at least, like, 2 hours away from my nearest family. At least 2 hours away. So visiting family, I often had to go out of state, at least one state away, if not several states away. Now, I have to, see, that hitbox of that cannonball is active until the smoke cloud completely leaves the screen. But for what I was saying, my 100th stream, which I believe is going to be on the 14th, let me check that real quick. Let me check that. I have my document open here. Yeah, it is going to be the 14th. I'm going to rank all 32. I believe by then I will have played either 32 or 31 different games since I started streaming. 32 different titles. And I'm going to be ranking them on stream. About halfway through the stream, but most of the stream I'm going to be attempting single credit runs of Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm not really into speed running it, because that's so reset heavy and frustrating. I can imagine, I don't want to get myself in a place where I don't enjoy playing this game anymore, because this is one of my favorite games of all time. If it's not in my top 2, it would be in my top 5. Not best games I've ever played, but favorite games of all time. Those would be, I think, different. Oh my gosh, that was what I consider a BS death. That wasn't a death because I wasn't playing well. That was a death because I was just not really paying attention at all. Yeah, that's the thing. These Mechagongs saying it's crazy than the 10 years of Zelda lifespan. You got 5 Zelda games, and the last 10 we've only gotten 2. As these games get more complicated to put together, as more people become involved, it become more resource intensive, the development's destined to slow down. Now, is Stinger going to be low on the list? I don't know. I'm going to be, just for clarification, I'm going to be ranking the games not necessarily based on how good I think the games are, because I know the game that's going to be on the bottom tier of my list is probably going to be a game that I would consider to be a decent game and worth trying. But I didn't have a good experience streaming it. Let's see. Now, Stinger. Now, if you don't know what Stinger is a early entry in the Twinbee series for NES, originally released on Famicom Disk System. And the funny thing about the Famicom version of the game... Oh my gosh. Now I lost my shield. Please. Okay, sometimes you get bad RNG with these air bubbles. Okay. Like, sometimes you could be playing perfectly fine, and then there's just, for whatever reason, the air bubble doesn't spawn. I think the air bubbles are on a cycle where every several frames there's a 50% chance of the bubble appearing. So you can just get unlucky and just not have a bubble spawn for a really long time. Oh yeah, there was Link Between Worlds. I wasn't specifically counting, I was just taking your word on it. I enjoyed Link Between Worlds. I didn't beat it. I enjoyed what I had played. I had so many games to play at the time, I just never got into it enough to beat it. Yeah, so, oh yeah, I keep getting back to the story. Oh yeah, but a Stinger. So a Stinger, it's a side-scrolling, side-scrolling, shoot 'em up where you play as a little spaceship. It's sort of a cute 'em up. It's sort of a little more lighthearted of a theme as compared to a traditional shooter like Life Force. Whereas, even though it's funny, Life Force is kind of a cute, a more traditional, more serious kind of take on the sci-fi shooter genre. But I heard it's fairly easy. On the other hand, Stinger is a really cutesy game with, like, the enemies are candy and clothes hangers and watermelons and stuff like that. But the game is really tough. And the problem with Stinger is the game's absurdly difficult to me, but I don't hold it too much against it. What I don't hold it against Stinger for being hard. What I hold it against is not for having different distinct modes, because on the Famicom version of the game, now look at this up here. You can either get a ring, 10 rings, or you can hit the switch and get an extra life. I think I'll take the extra life, thank you very much. How's the new place? Oh, it's working out great. I got scared a second. I had a few frame rate hiccups earlier in the stream, but it's settled down since then. I haven't had a single alert since then. Now, yeah, the Famicom version of Stinger, in fact, to go into my new place again for a second, the closet that's behind me, you can actually see the closet door behind me, because that's the only place I really had to set up my, my computer and streaming rig. The closet is this huge walk-in closet. I was not expecting it to be that big. The walk-in closet in this apartment is huge. And the shelves are not really, like, adjustable. If the shelves were adjustable, I would have actually taken all the shelves out of the closet and used the, and it's a big closet, and it's not like a dank, damp, like, dark closet with, like, a musty smell. It is a nice, finished closet with a carpet and really good lighting. And what I would have done is I would have taken the shelves out and used the closet as a recording studio and filming booth. It is, yeah, it is such a huge closet that I would have used it as a filming booth, except that you cannot really adjust the shelves. So I actually do, it's actually just used for storage. And it's only used like 10% of what I have, plus a lot of the stuff I own is still in a storage unit back in the state I moved from. I'm probably not staying in this this apartment for more than a year or two, so I'm not going to do much in terms of decorating. Oh yeah, so getting back to Stinger. The problem with Stinger is that the Famicom version of the game supported 3 players simultaneous gameplay, so 3 ships on screen at once. In the NES version, the NES American version only supported 2 players, and then I was playing 1 player. And I think the main problem with the game is that the game is balanced in such a way that it was like the enemy patterns and bullet patterns are clearly intended to be balanced for 3 player simultaneous play, where you have 3 different ships on screen acting independently to take out the enemies. And without 3 players, or at least 2, it is pretty much impossible, to the point where when I streamed it, and I was looking forward to streaming that game too, I enjoyed playing it, because I know a couple of my viewers were really fascinated to see what I think of Stinger. They were interested in seeing me playing it, and because they were excited, I was excited, and it was on my list of games to play anyway. I'd actually been putting off playing that game for years so I could play it for the first time on stream, because I had never played any games in the series, but I knew the history of the series. And we cleared it. We didn't get taken out. Hey, Insanity 3992. How you doing? I haven't seen you in my stream before. Yeah, we're playing the 8-bit version of Sonic the Hedgehog. This is the Game Gear edition. We're playing this using my own childhood cartridge on the Analog Mega SG, which is, if you don't know, it's sort of an aftermarket clone system. It's kind of unique from other systems like the Retron, because the Retron is basically running... you can use cartridges with the Retron, but you're putting the cartridge in and pulling the ROM off of it, and then just playing the ROM file in an emulator. Whereas this is playing the game in real time off of the cartridge, using what's called FPGA, or Field Programmable Gate Array, where basically it's hardware emulation as opposed to software emulation. So it's a really cool solution. It's really, in the preservation community, FPGA solutions are generally pretty popular because it allows for it now. Watch this. Alright. Actually, no, I didn't need to do that. I actually did not need to do that. I forgot. You only need to do this in the Master System version. You have a very generous and long 1, and a generous and long 0. So there's a chance I can sell... No! Okay, I'm gonna die. I'm probably gonna die. Oh, I was frames away from getting... If I did not take that hit there, I would have been able to make it to the air in time. I am doing good. Yeah, so Sonic the Hedgehog, the Game Gear version, was the first game, first proper modern video game that I ever played as a kid. Now, I get lured to going to the left there, and I didn't need to. And the reason I go to the left there is because in the Master System version of this game, which I do have the cartridge for right here, we may be playing this after we watch the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which you will need a Canadian or US Amazon Prime subscription to watch. Yeah, in the Master System version of the game, there's a cool sort of puzzle type thing they set up. I don't know if you could quite call it a puzzle, where the Chaos Emerald is in a bed of spikes, and the only way to collect the Chaos Emerald is to get the invincibility power up, and then get all the way to the bed of spikes before before the invincibility runs out. But here, I guess they decided with the screen crunch that it wasn't, like, a fair enough challenge. So in this version, they basically just give you... the Chaos Emerald for free in this stage. The Chaos Emeralds are seldom, really challenging to beat. They are tricky to find if you don't know where they're already at. So you'd have to do a little exploring for them, especially the last couple. So we go to the left here, and the Chaos Emerald is just going to be sitting there waiting for us to collect. So I'll just grab it. Now, Insanity, are you familiar with this 8-bit version of Sonic the Hedgehog? I know a lot of people aren't, especially a lot of people that aren't from Europe or from Central or South America, because I know in those regions this 8-bit version of Sonic was more popular on the Master System, whereas it really was only widely released in North America as the Game Gear edition. So whereas the Master System was so popular in other territories that this Master System version was the version of Sonic that a lot of people grew up with. Meanwhile, in the US, it really wasn't the case so much. You never played this game? Have you played the original 16-bit version? Because this version actually came out the same year as the 8-bit version. It's kind of funny because, and the fact that Sega went back and authorized an official 8-bit conversion of Sonic the Hedgehog, it is almost, in a sense, a glimpse at an alternate reality, where... It's almost a glimpse of an alternate reality where Sonic came out during the NES versus Master System era, as opposed to in the 16-bit era, because Sonic was made specifically to help enhance the stand... Now, this is a very easy boss if you know exactly what to do. If you stand even 1 pixel to the... There's like a 50%... There's a halfway... There's like a 50%... Like, I guess the halfway between Robotnik's left and right sprite here of his submarine. If you stand 1% to the left of that, his torpedo fires to the left. If you stand 1% to the right, it fires to the right. So what I do is I stand slightly to the left to make him fire it, and it's so slow that I could run safely to the right before it even... You're more of a first-person shooter gamer? You know, I used to be into first-person shooters on N64, and a little bit on PlayStation. I remember playing Alien vs... Was it Alien vs Predator on PlayStation? It's kind of funny, because, like, that was a game that came out on the original PlayStation, and it did not get a movie. And people were saying, like, man, like, they made Alien vs Predator on Sony PlayStation. They should make a movie out of that. That would be so cool. And that movie did not come out until, like, the 2000s. It came out, like, a decade or more later. And I don't even know how similar the specific plot is of the movie to the game that came out a decade earlier. Now, this is not speedrun strats right here. This is not the way to beat the game quickly, or to beat this boss quickly. It's the way to beat it safely. Yeah, I'm not Fozon. I'm not going for speedrun strats with this one. Yeah, I think, I mean, objectively, it was obviously the case that going for console first-person shooters, going dual analog was the way to go. Now, often, if I don't take a death in the first death I usually take is in Jungle Zone Robotnik, and if I don't take a death there, sometimes I'll take a death in Labyrinth Robotnik. Now, I did take a death due to running out of air, and if I heard the game Rust, no, I have not. Yeah, objectively, going twin stick, dual analog for home console first-person shooters was the way to go. But at that point, I kind of wasn't good at first-person shooters anymore. So, like, I played the, like, Metroid Prime 1 and 2, but those don't control, like, traditional first-person shooters. They control more like platformers played in first-person. Okay. Now, we're in Scrap Brain Zone. I want to point this out every time, as Pete Dorr would say, sky hype for real. I just love, even, this is true of the Genesis version, right? But especially in the 8-bit version, the skyline of the dusky, smoggy sky, the skyscrapers with flashing lights in the background, the girders and those domes and gantries. You really get the industrial feel of this place. And, you know, perhaps if you were a human living in this world, you'd think, hey, there was just this island with all these old abandoned ruins and jungles and forests on it, and Robotnik's come along, he's, you know, built up this great city with all this industry and productivity going on. Or perhaps, hey, this would be a Scrap Brain Zone. Would be a fun place to live if you were actually a robot. And look at that, just the flashing buttons in the background. Oh, it's a survival PvP play you play often. Is it kind of Okay, I got it. I got that. There's a 1-up on that conveyor belt. I don't need it at this point. It's possible I have more than 20 lives, but now, this is not something I got to see often as a kid. As a little kid, I remember it being in the backseat of my parents' car, going to my grandmother's house or going to the supermarket, and my brother, who was older than me, he was the one who could actually get this far into the game, and it wasn't every day that it happened. Because even though he was skilled enough to get this far, I mean, there was no save file, there's no save backup battery. So if you got to your destination before the end of the game, okay, game's, you know, it's time to put the game away, you know, you just turned it off and you lost your game and you didn't think twice about it. Now, there's a really cool element here where they put that switch there just so you can hit it, see the door go up. Just a very gentle way to introduce the concept of the switch mechanic. I love the goofy looking face on this caterpillar right here. He almost doesn't even look threatening. He's just, I mean, yeah, he's a spiky little bug, wormy guy, but I mean, we like wormy creatures on the stream, right? And is that kind of like a last player, Rust, is that kind of a last player standing kind of thing, or is it just something where you go in and you're just playing for as long as you can live and just seeing how much equipment, or if you're trying to build a base or something like that? Oh, so we do have 20 lives. I believe with the lives that I lost to Robotnik Jungle and in the Labyrinth Zone, I believe I would have 22 or 23 lives. Now, for those of you familiar with the Genesis version of this game, you'll notice that this rendition of the Scrap Brain theme, this rearrangement by Uzo Koshiro, actually has a more developed melody than the Genesis version, and I really feel like this is the superior version of this track. The Genesis version, you know, it has the ambiance. It's more like of an ambiance, and it doesn't really break out into the melody. They basically took this track and made a more melody-oriented arrangement of it. And one thing I did forget to mention that's relevant to mention now is that Act 2 of Labyrinth Zone is the last opportunity in the game to gain admittance to the special stage. So from the Labyrinth Act 2, up until the end of the game, there's no longer any special stage access, even if you end the board with between 50 and 99 rings. Now, when I first got to here, the first time I really played this stage myself was on stream, and I spent maybe, I feel like between a half hour, felt like an hour at the time, but it felt like a half hour on my very first stream trying to figure out how to get through here. And this is kind of a light maze element. If you don't know what to do, it's very tricky. Very, very tricky. I think it took me maybe a half hour to beat the stage. Well, I think... did I actually run out of time? Now, those pig enemies there, those are not placed there in the Master System version. I guess they felt like they needed to add some more enemies in this version. Now, I believe this here is the one where I'm going to... Yes, I remembered. Now, it's very difficult to make that jump unless you already have rolling momentum. It's difficult to do it standing. So we're just going to go into the teleporter here. Alright, so now I fall down here and go to the right. Now, if I were to make, on that initial branch, if I went to that upward path, I would have ended up through here, and it would have been here. I have to go to the left, ultimately. I jump up, I can't get up there, and if I hit the switch, it opens the other side, but I can't go through. Now that I came through from the top, I could hit the switch, switch the doors, and then go back through the bottom to access the closing portion of the stage. Now, here is what appears to be... You had Sonic 2 for Game Gear. Now, it's funny. This is a joke I make a lot with what's his name? With Gunstar Heroes, who streams a lot of Game Gear. And I know Pete Dora also mentioned this. Like, if you know you're a retro game collector, when you just run into random copies of Sonic 2 that you don't remember, like, ever owning... You're just like, they just randomly appear in your sock drawer, beneath your bed, behind bookshelves. You just find random copies of Sonic 2. Now, I'm the exception. I do have only one copy of Sonic 2, but I've seen so many. Now, there's the Chaos Emerald. You have to take that leap of faith and jump down there. You do have to go ahead and take the leap of faith. Most players probably find that by accident the first time they ever do that. Alright. And at this point, now, for a last zone, for Scrap Brain Zone, this is relatively not that treacherous. Only have one copy, and it's the Genesis one that came packed in. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I've been a lifelong Sonic fan, right? I played Sonic 2 maybe once at a friend's house. I might have watched them play it a few times. Like the chemical... Wait, what did I do? How did I get back here? How did I get back here? Oh, doggone it. And once you fall, you cannot really recover that. So I might as well go to the left here. How did I get back here? That's so weird. I feel like I messed up somehow. Like, fundamentally messed up. I don't feel like I ever had to think that hard. Oh, wait, you know what? Okay, no, excuse me. I just flat out forgot that I have to go through this again. Because it's so repetitive, I just forgot I have to go through here again. I just forgot. I already did this once and I have to do it again. And I'm already... you have 10 minutes to clear the stages and you already got halfway through. So I'm actually, for a lifelong Sonic fan, I am completely... all I remember of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for Genesis is that chemical plant zone, I think is the second world. I remember the music for it and the hazards. I don't think I've ever seen past Chemical Plant Zone. There we go. Now we fall down here and we can make our way to the left. Alright. Yeah, and then Sonic 3, I really know nothing about except that Knuckles is in it. Because I remember in 1994, like the whole MTV tie-in, the whole Where's Knuckles thing, and I think 7-Eleven was also involved. Like there were game pieces and like temporary tattoos you can get. I remember at one point they had... Sega tattoos. You can get like Mortal Kombat tattoos and temporary tattoos. No, not real tattoos. Temporary tattoos you can get at 7-Eleven. You can get ones of like Goro and Sonic the Hedgehog and Sub-Zero. I remember that promotion. Ah. So we got, you see, we're in Robotnik, or in Scrap Brain Act 3. You saw the Robotnik icon over the map indicating that there would be a Robotnik encounter, and you'll notice there is no timer here. They still, I believe they still do make the Sonic ice cream bars with the eyes that aren't always on in center. I believe they still do make those, but you'll notice we've got no time limit here. So this is not about time. This is about getting through the stage. This is, if you thought that last maze was tricky, now we're going deep, and I have to concentrate a bit for this, or else I'll lose my way. And I did find this initial solution for this on stream, which I'm really proud of. It took us, because there's no time limit, I did believe it'd take like 30 to 40 minutes the first time. Okay. So straight. Okay, go down. Okay, down. We're going up. Oh, yeah. Some of those do shoot electricity, so I was cautious for a second because I forgot which one that was. Straight down. Up. We're going up. And we're going left. We're going up. We're going... Now, this is... Now, you notice... look at the design language here of the game. The doors that open from either direction have lights on both sides. Doors that only open from one direction, but on the other only have lights on the side it opens from. I'm excited for the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog movie sequel. Well, Sonic the Hedgehog was the last movie I saw in theaters before COVID hit North America and shut everything down. Up. Alright, here we go. We're through. We're through. And you notice, in general... Now, if I hit that switch, it's just going to close the door and make it a pain in the butt. So at this point, we've actually solved the level. There's nothing else left except for the Robotnik encounter, because this is Act 3 after all. Now, so Sonic the Hedgehog movie was the last movie I saw in theaters. I intend, even though there are some movies that I would consider maybe going to go see, I want, for poetic justice or whatever, I would like it if Sonic the Hedgehog 2... was the first movie I went to see in theaters again. So there's Robotnik, it's like, oh shoot, it's Robotnik, and he takes an elevator upwards. We don't fight him, he takes an elevator up to somewhere. Now, Scrap Brain, that's the last zone in the Genesis version, and now, where could Robotnik be going if Scrap Brain's the last zone of the game? Well, it turns out there's a little more to the game in this version. We are now in Sky Base Zone, a zone that we took an elevator to. We left Scrap Brain and went up into Sky Base. Now, I do have to focus a bit. There are no checkpoints in this level. My first couple of times I played this level, which was on stream, if you look at my archives on YouTube, some of my older streams, you can see my first times actually trying to get through the stage. And it is not a... It's a lot harder when you don't know what's going on, but I did lose a lot of lives. I did have to use up some continues to get through here the first time around. There's Orbinaut, which I do want to trigger him to launch his... No, I'm not going to... Oh shoot, I do not want you near me. Because those guys there, definite big-time bad news. Now, there is actual lag induced by the lightning. Especially now that I have the shield on as well, which is one more on screen. Yes, I managed to... Now, I could easily get... I may end up getting through the stage without needing to use the shield, but the shield is something I want to have. And when I don't have, especially when I do not have a shield, I tend to try to leave rings in place so that if I lose my rings, there's a ring nearby I can grab as quickly as possible. Now, there's some cannons. At this point, we're kind of getting a little reminiscent of the end of Super Mario Bros. 3, with sort of gauntlet stage. Oslo Jonas, also known as, is hosting my stream. Well, thank you for the host. Oslo Yoda is also known as. Okay. I don't think I've seen you around in association with the chat before. Okay, we're gonna jump. And we're gonna jump. Yeah, I can't, even if I clear the stage with 50 rings, I am not going to be, there's no way, the game will no longer let me into the special stage. We're past that point in the game. So there's no real reason to grab rings except for to protect yourself. Alright, jump, jump. Okay. I haven't quite I'm familiar with the stage, I haven't memorized it yet, so I can't assume any move I do or don't make is going to necessarily be safe. Okay, I think we're pretty close to the end now. All right, we're gonna. Excuse me, I do not want to be anywhere near you. Those awful. Now these. Okay, we dodged the bullets. Now this thing freaked me out at first because, well, for one thing, what's cool. It only moves, these propeller platforms only advance while you're standing on them, but I thought, my thinking was that once they hit a platform, the platform would stay for a couple of moments and then fall away. But the game's very merciful in that the platform actually stays there until you're ready to make the jump. And I actually think I probably actually lost lives to assuming that the platform was going to fall away at the end of the stage. Come on, cannons. Alright, you're not gonna fire. Alright, we're nearly to the end. But I just love the atmosphere here, the lightning going off, and the dark clouds. And look, we've boarded the bottom of a Zeppelin. So, in this version of the game, which is really cool, the Scrap Brain Zone, like, you go up, take an elevator up to Skybase, and what you realize is that the Skybase is the launch pad for Robotnik's airship. And what you have here is actually the very earliest instance of Robotnik having an airship or a flying fortress of some kind or another, which is kind of interesting, because that would become a major trope throughout Sonic going forward. And you got that cool, I guess, continuity. Now, you notice here, in that one stage, that big maze stage, there were no rings. There were no rings to collect. No, I mean, there was no time limit, because it's all about just finishing the stage however long it takes. It's about finishing the labyrinth, the puzzle. Here, there are no rings, so it's like, yep, you have 10 minutes, but there are no rings to collect. Hey, Azure Rast. I hope you're having some technical trouble earlier with Amazon Prime. I hope you were able to get that settled out. And if not, you could always, like, Amazon seems to be working well enough based on our previous conversation that you could just click on a Sonic movie independently when the time comes, but hopefully you got it worked out that you could sync up. Now, when you go up there, those propellers, those act as buzzsaws that will hurt Sonic. They are bombs, like Bob-omb-like enemies that explode, which are actually way worse than bombs. They are bullets and cannons and all kinds of horrible nonsense, fitting for the last platforming stage of the game, because the next level after this is nothing but a Robotnik boss fight. But, now if you, let's see, can I see it? You can't even see it here. I have to take a leap of faith. I made it! I made it. When I go to do... Oh, they filmed the Sonic movies in your town, huh? That's pretty cool. As I know, they film a lot of stuff in Canada, even if it's not, you know, a Canadian production, such as it were. When I do my Sonic the Hedgehog single credit runs, I expect to take a few deaths there, because you do have to take a leap of faith. You do also have to maneuver in between these platforms. This is an easier version of the stage, because I've lost game over. I've gone through all my lives and continues in some instances trying to go the upper path before I realized that this path was here. Because this is the path that you need to use in order to collect the Chaos Emerald. So even though this is the easier path, because you are stuck on these platforms, it can get really hairy at times, where you have bullets coming at you and not much space to try and safely dodge them. If I were to stay on the platform, some of the tanks they're using for the second movie are being being transferred in May. Okay, so there are going to be tanks in the next movie, huh? That's going to be cool. Because I've only seen a couple of pictures from the set where they had like dummies to show the sense of scale and lighting for Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. It's gonna be interesting to now. There's the last Chaos Emerald. Now, oh my gosh, I take a death to that so many times because I'll collect the Chaos Emerald and be like, yay, I got the last Chaos Emerald, and then it takes me out, and I'm like, I've played this game before. I'm such a sucker for taking a death there. Oh please. Okay, we got it. We got it. We're good. We're good. We're good. Which means we got through Scrap Brain, which really, Scrap Brain really isn't a hazard in terms of taking deaths. But look at the scene here. All the panels and lights, flashing buttons and lights. It's so cool. Yeah, so it's gonna, don't spoil me on this if you know specifically, but it's gonna be interesting to see if these tanks belong to the military or if they belong to Dr. Robotnik. Because they could, it'll be interesting to see. Because, I wanted to see, no matter what, like that initial Sonic trailer for the Sonic movie, when people were like, oh, Sonic's so ugly. Yes, he was ugly in the initial teaser trailer. But when I saw the way they were dealing with Robotnik, because I had not seen any spoilers for Jim Carrey's outfit as Robotnik, and when I saw him in the black long coat with the red trim, and then later, when he was in his mech, then he had the red outfit, I was like, oh, that's how they're gonna deal with it. The red outfit is his pilot suit when he's piloting his robot. And that they actually say that explicitly in the movie. That is so cool. I'm like, yes, I actually keyed into the logic there. Because I did a character in a 2006 novel I wrote only about half of, so only the first 500 pages. I'd have to totally rework it now because it's not up to my standards anymore, because I wrote this back when I was in like my freshman year of college. But I wrote a story, an original story. It's not a Sonic fanfic or anything like that. But I dealt with a character that was very loosely inspired by Dr. Robotnik. Oh my gosh, that was just me being careless. Like that, when I say a stupid death, that was a stupid death right there. So if I was like doing a single credit run and I got this far and took a death there, I would practice the final battle just to get better at doing that final fight. Now he has a very rigid pattern here. This is a little different from the Master System boss fight. Arguably more challenging. Like each version in their own way is arguably. They both have their pros and cons as to which is more or less challenging. Okay, but the flame jets come out in the same order. And as long as your feet are on the ground at the bottom left of the screen, it will, the lightning ball that launches will always miss you. So, this is not speedrun strats, but it is... Oh, that was close. I barely had the right... Okay, that was scary. Whenever the lightning ball does not just immediately leave the screen, that's scary territory for me. I think I only have one or two more hits to go. So right, middle, left. Now this next one should be it. In the Master System version of the game, okay, so that's it. And we are... So, Robotnik warps away. Sometimes the game, like, awkwardly waits there for a while before it lets you control Sonic again. And... Sonic warps in, and boom! And, so that's... I mean, for speedrun purposes... Now, look at the ending of this. This is an ending unique to this version of Sonic the Hedgehog. It is not in the 16-bit original Genesis version. And this version, if you have all the Chaos Emeralds, Sonic uses the power of the Chaos Emeralds to cleanse the island of Robotnik's pollution. And given the themes of Sonic the Hedgehog, you know, free will versus, it's like forest versus factories, conservationism versus industrialism, free will versus conformity. Because Sonic's such a free spirit, and then Robotnik just wants to control everything with his machines and turn all the animals into robots. And so that's why I think that Sonic and Robotnik are really good foils for each other, and ways that have unique significance to me. Now, I have to adjust my camera here. This is the first time I've used this with my my new setup here. Now, in the tradition of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, when we defeat Dr. Robotnik, we celebrate with a trip to Olive Garden, which is here represented through my brilliant Photoshop skills. So for those of you watching, coming up next, I'm going to be doing a 10-minute break because I've been talking nonstop. I'm told I'm really good at doing commentary for games in general, and I have a lot to say about this game especially, so I've had to drink a lot of water. My voice is kind of, rough. Once I start the Amazon Watch Party, I cannot pause or stop the movie for any reason. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna take maybe an 8-minute break so I can, grab more water, take a leak so I don't have to during the movie, let my voice rest for a minute, and then when I come back, I'm going to switch over to the Amazon Watch Party of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. And best of all, and if I'm still up to it after the end, I'm going to either pop in Sonic for Master System into the Mega SG, or I will, and that's only if I feel like it. And if I do feel like it, I'll either be playing this, and I'll be just talking about the movie, having just seen it again for the second time in my life. And I haven't seen it in over a year at this point. I haven't seen it since before COVID hit in North America. So I'll be watching this, and so I might play this, or I might play the Valley Bell mod of Sonic the Hedgehog Master System, which is a mod that uses the FM sound module, which adds enhanced sound for Master System games, giving it arguably better than Genesis quality sound in an 8-bit game. And so I'll maybe put it up for a vote. I've never done like an on-stream vote thingy during a stream before. Okay, manage your poll. Okay, that's it. I'll add a poll. Or I added that option to my... There we go. Where did I find that at? Streamlabs. Manage poll. Okay, so now I have the things to add that. I'll do it for the first time. When we finish the Sonic movie, I'll do a poll whether we play the 8-bit original chiptune sound, or if we do the Valley Bell FM sound mod. If we do the original cartridge, I am going to play it off the cartridge. If not, I'll play it off the modded ROM off an SD card that's in the Mega SG. So let me start by changing the title. Sonic the Hedgehog 2020 film plus possible Sonic the Hedgehog after and update. There we go. So we updated that. We're still streaming under Sonic the Hedgehog because I'm not able to have the watch party category until I actually activate the Amazon integration. So let's see. Actually, yeah, how about so 7 minutes. Okay. So we'll go for 8 minutes, and I'm going to put on my hold screen, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Let's see. Just gotta go over to my... Yeah, I want this to be a little louder. How about that? Yeah, that should be balanced good. Is 8 minutes enough? Well, I'll make it work. So I may be slightly late. I don't think it'll take any more than 8 minutes. So that's time for you to, if you're interested, to grab your popcorn and everything. And I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, I'm just about back. I just gotta get something that I should have had ready to begin with, and I just considered that now. There we go. Alright, I got it. It's the essential piece of equipment I forgot till the last possible moment. Because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to be staying still for a while. Gonna need this. Or else I'm just gonna be shaking like this and it'll look like there's an earthquake going on. Now that there's a bigger... Actually, there's one other thing I can do. Hold on. There. Alright. Lighting's a little better now. Yeah, and there's... So I gotta put my headphones in. While I was away, I switched my game from my Mega SG over to... And actually, now that I'm not playing it, and it's actually up on the table... Oh, shucks. Don't let me mess up. Okay, there we go. I have to unplug the controller, too. I actually showed off on stream, really, for the first proper time. Showed off live. So it got Genesis-like accents without, hey, Azure Rest. Hopefully this all technically goes good for you. If not, you know, there's the contingency we talked about. We can just have the thing open. Just plug the controller back in, because I will forget to do it later and wonder why I can't control the game. And later, if I feel like it, we will be playing the Master System version of the game. Now, just a few technical notes. Hold on. Sorry, I had a breath mint to soothe my throat, and I have to get rid of it quickly. Now, if you've never done a watch party before, if you have an Amazon Prime account, and being in the trial period will work for this, the free trial period, what you're going to do is it's going to start and it's going to ask you to click to sync your accounts, and you just log in like you're logging into Amazon, and that's going to be within Twitch, and it'll sync it up for you. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. Now, the audio for the movie is going to come like everything you're seeing now, the movie poster on the left, on the right, and me on the left. That's going to just shrink up into the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And in the main screen is going to be the movie content. And the sound, the volume for the movie is going to be in its own audio player within the movie. Then the audio from my mic is going to be in its own player up in the corner. So you can actually adjust my audio and the audio from the movie independently. And I didn't realize this till today because I was going around checking out other people's watch parties just to make sure that I was synced up so that I could watch my own watch party. Because the easiest way for me to do this is to actually watch the watch party on the monitor that I was formerly using to play the game on. A lot of people just don't use headphones and have the audio from the movie playing out loud in their room being picked up by their mic. Now, like, the watch party rules explicitly say not to do this, because when you have the audio from the film that you're watching going through your mic and appearing on your actual stream, then you get the audio can trigger you to get a copyright strike as though you were just streaming the movie and, like, pirating it. So not only is it bad because you could possibly get a copyright strike and get banned from Twitch because of that, also, everyone watching the movie, it syncs it up to within 1 to 5 seconds, and it's going to be slightly different for each person watching. You're going to be within 5 or 6 seconds, I think, max, difference from me, but you're going to be basically synced up within a couple of seconds. But when you have the audio playing through the streamer, there's no way to turn that down. The streamer has to turn that off. And in addition to that, it makes it so that if you're watching the movie, now your audio, you're either hearing double audio out of sync, or you just have to turn off the audio from the movie and are just hearing the movie sync. Now, the funny thing is, I did a couple of watch parties for, like, Bon Voyage, Charlie Brown, and for Season 1 of Thomas the Tank Engine. And for both of those, especially for a smaller streamer like me, there was a lot more chat activity than I saw in any of the other watch parties that I've seen going around that are from, like normal to mid-sized streamers. So it seems like my own watch party streams have been the most active chat ones I've ever seen. So okay, I'm gonna go ahead. It's almost 1:30 Eastern, so I'm gonna go ahead and start the watch party. Now my audio is not now plugged into a different computer than the one I'm actually running operating the broadcast software on. So start watch party. I'm gonna have to type in Sonic the Hedgehog. Now this is annoying doing this for Sonic because I was doing this for Thomas the Tank Engine Season 1 because the episodes were split up into like batches of 2 episodes per entry, and Sonic the Hedgehog. Wait a second. Is it not on Amazon Prime? Did they take it off of Amazon Prime Video? I swear. I checked like a month ago. This was still on Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh my gosh. It was up there. Let's just put in Sonic. Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. I mean, at least that's up here. Ryan's World. Okay. Ryan's World. I swear this was up on Amazon Prime Video. I like specifically typed it into this very interface. Like, yes, I could do a watch party. I guess they took it off of there or it's not available for... This is so embarrassing. Oh my gosh. Alright. Okay. So, we're going to have a change of plans here. Okay. But there is something Sonic related that I've wanted to watch since the 90s and never got a chance to. Okay. Okay. I just got to adjust this. We're doing some real-time... We're playing it by ear in real time. Okay. No, that's okay. Here we go. We're gonna do this on the fly. So, yeah, it looks like the Sonic movie got canceled, but we're gonna replace it with something else Sonic related. Okay. Okay. Alright, I had slides of stuff I wanted to show off and everything. Now, let me just double check. Okay, Sonic. Yeah, there really isn't much to choose from. There really isn't, which is so sad. Yeah, there's very little... Sonic. I swear, even like a couple of months ago, even Sonic, the Saturday morning Sonic cartoon was up here as well. And that's not up here on Amazon anymore. And now there's Sonic X, which I only saw like the first episode of, like when it first came out. I realized it had nothing to do with Sonic Sat AM, and really just never watched it again because I just realized it was an adaptation of Sonic. But okay, no, we're not watching Sonic X, not this time. I've got something a little more unique lined up, especially since it's July right now. Okay. Okay. You just gotta... Okay. Okay. Let's see. You on Amazon Prime Video, you see the Sonic movie, but like it's not it's up there, but it's not available for watch parties, which is ridiculous because it's like doing a watch party would be nothing other than just multiple people who already have it. Like, so yeah, it's on Amazon Prime Video, I guess, but it's not available for watch parties. Let me try Sonic 2020. Sonic 2020. UFO TV presence. I'm going to type in James Marsden. Let's see what comes up. I type in James Marsden and Sonic X comes up and not the Sonic movie. Yeah, I guess whatever deal they have, let them have... Are you in the... Serial Wars, you know what? You're in Canada. Yeah, you're in Canada and I'm not. Yeah, they have... Yeah, so finally, all the good stuff is in Canada and not the U.S. So I know often it's the other way around, and I've enjoyed the whatever benefits they are in terms of media availability of being in the U.S. for long enough. So let our friends to the north have a time in the sun, because the only thing I have up here that I'm interested in watching, especially in the context of my disappointment, is Sonic Christmas Blast. And I've been fascinated by this. I first saw this in Blockbuster in the 90s. And the reason I was kind of fascinated by this is because... Okay, so Serial Rose, you can watch it too. Good. Alright, now let me just pull the chat up in front of there. Yeah, let me just move the chat up here. There we go. Yeah. I was always fascinated by this because there are two Sonic cartoons in the early 90s made in America by Deke. There was Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, which was the first one to come out, which I believe came out in 92 or maybe 93. And that was sort of a slapstick series about Sonic and Tails and fighting Robotnik and his, goofy henchman robots, mainly Scratch and Grounder. There was also, a monkey with, a light bulb on his head. And it was more goofy slapstick antics. And was aimed at smaller children. And there was also another show just called Sonic the Hedgehog. Jaleel White played the voice of Sonic in both of them. And Hot Sega Game comes live in 4 action-packed episodes. There may be other... Yes, we're watching a Christmas special in July. I know in the mid-90s, Cartoon Network used to do a thing called Christmas in July a couple of years, so we're going to do that here. But they did this weird Sonic Christmas Blast, which was weird because it looked like it was based on Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, but it had, from the cover, Princess Sally Acorn, who was a character who only appeared in Sonic the Hedgehog, which was a more serious take on the Sonic universe. And I'm like, how it's gonna be. I'm just interested to see if we get any of Princess Sally interacting with the more comedic version, Sad AM or Sonic the Hedgehog version of Dr. Robotnik, because in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, Robotnik was a comic relief villain, and in Sonic the Hedgehog, Dr. Robotnik was a more sinister villain, a more evil, competent version of Dr. Claw, perhaps, where he actually has taken over the world, and Sonic and his friends sort of formed a resistance movement. So, okay, so we're gonna have to change the name. Okay. Sonic Christmas Blast in July. Alright, so we're just gonna have to play it by ear. We're adapting. We're going with the flow. And we have to change the ticker as well. Thanks to everyone who's... I can't believe I've had 5 viewers throughout all this. And all I've been doing is just housekeeping stuff, trying to... what year did Sonic Christmas Blast come out? Sonic Christmas Blast. I'm going to guess the year for this. I'm going to guess it came out in 94. That's the only year it would make sense for this to come out. Oh, it came out in 96. Oh, you know what that means? If Sonic Christmas Blast came out in 96, that means that this is the final animated appearance of Princess Sally Acorn. Because she was a continuing character in the Archie comic series, which continued up until 2014 or 2013 or something like that. 1996. Deke. Okay. And we're going to have to scroll the ticker back over because I intended for the... Yeah, there we go. Got to see a bunch of stuff I normally do off stream. And so now we are going to... here we go. Sonic Christmas Blast 1996. Oh, it said it right there on Amazon Prime. So I'm going to start the watch party now. Okay, Santa Claus has made an announcement. He is retiring and has packed the perfect successor, Robotnik Claus. Sonic and his sister. What? What? Sonic and his sister resolve to persuade Santa to return and set Christmas straight. Will the two track down the Santa who made the announcement? They discover he is just a phony robot. The real Santa Claus is being held prisoner. Oh, well, talk about spoilers. Jeez. Sonic and his sister. Okay. There was a third Sonic animated series called Sonic Underground, which came out in '99, and it's weird that this came out like in the same year that Sonic Adventure came out, because it's still using like the animation style and character models basically from Sonic Sat AM, but it was a different universal continuity where Robotnik basically looked the same, but his cape was a different color. He was voiced by a different voice actor, and he was effectively a different take on the Robotnik character. Even though he looked the same, he was effectively a different character. A different backstory. Sonic had a brother and sister called Manic and Sonia, I think, which were a pink and green hedgehog who nowadays, like, the joke would be they came straight from DeviantArt, all three being voiced by Jaleel White using a voice changer, including the female. So Sonic and his sister, are they going to try to say that Princess Sally is Sonic's sister? Now, this is not what I expected, but it's certainly been interesting in terms of my live, real-time reactions to this. So this should work in the US and Canada. I'm pressing play right now. Okay. Watch party content. Okay. Do not count towards path to partner. Do not capture the video content with your stream, which apparently people have a hard time figuring out from what I learned this morning. But start watch party. So it should begin in a few moments for me and the rest of you. Okay. So I have to go to my own Twitch channel now. I have to go to my own Twitch channel on a second screen in order to watch it, actually. It's kind of funny. So I'm actually on the second computer looking at my own stream just like how I'm looking at it for everyone else right now. And it's going to sync up in a few moments. It said this may be intended for mature audiences. Well, I mean, like, with the modern sensibilities, I missed that part. It's still syncing up for me. So perhaps not at the time, but maybe nowadays, maybe this is maybe not something that would be considered for sure. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Watch party will begin soon. And please work. Yes, okay, now we're in it. We're in it now. Sonic Christmas Blast. Alright. This is so bizarre. This is also... So this is the last animated appearance of Princess Sally. Also the last Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog related content. Wow, humans? They're humans in this. This is not Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. They were not regular humans. I think all the characters were animals except for Robotnik in Adventures. Oh yeah, this is very... It used a variation of the intro to... He's clearly a robot. And it's like, they're humans, but they're like surreal humans. I mean, this is how humans would look in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. But all the civilian characters, I believe, were animals in that show. Because, like, I mean, Robotnik, just the red, a large person in a red suit, already looks a lot like Robotnik to begin with. Oh my gosh. He did, I mean, this would be super on brand for him to look this ridiculous attempting to be Robotnik. Well, Scratch and Grounder are in this, which I did not know would be a thing. And this is also the last animated appearance of Scratch and Grounder. They did appear a few times in the comic. And I really have not gone back and watched casually Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's something that's really something I loved as a kid. I loved Saddam more once I discovered that, even when I was little, but... Like, his shoes are all busted up. I mean, like, this is a comic relief, ridiculous character. So this is on brand for him, just not in the way I kind of expected them to handle it. It is so weird seeing Robotnik and Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog Robotnik interact with humans. Ooh. Like, this style of these humans, it is like so intensely early 90s. It is so weird. Because I feel like I've seen this style of drawing human cartoon children elsewhere. Oh, Sally, what? You look deranged. What's wrong with you? That was so weird. She didn't even have any dialogue. This is so bizarre. And they have the surreal backgrounds like Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. This is such a weird... They're using the, Yeah, this is fascinating to just... after because I've been curious about this since I first saw it in Blockbuster. Wait, Robotropolis? They're bringing Robotropolis into this? We're gonna see Robotropolis in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. This is so weird, because a Robotropolis is a SATAM only thing. And so now there are humans living in Robotropolis. This is such a weird thing. Clackaboy, this is your first time seeing through a Sonic cartoon, you're more familiar with the Mario cartoons. So there are humans living in Robotropolis. If you are not, and if anyone is, I mean, only I think someone who is familiar with both Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and with the other show, Sonic the Hedgehog, which I call SATAM, and a lot of people call SATAM. Only if you're familiar with both of these shows can you realize how bizarre this is. And then Princess Sally was there, like, she didn't even move. She was just like a static frame of she was just a static animation cell that didn't even move or have dialogue. Like, why did they... I mean, and the surreal robot designs are kind of how a lot of the robots were in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. But the Robotropolis was much, not as gloomy and dank look and scary looking. But then... I'm really interested in this. Huh. I'm really... this is really strange. This is like the final piece. I mean, I've seen a few, maybe 3 or 4 episodes of Sonic Underground. I have never seen this. I've been curious about it my whole life. Why do they think we need this weird human kid for us to watch a Sonic Christmas special? It's just like, You know what this also might be? Like this I think is also probably one of the earliest instances of Sonic interacting with human characters. And how do I put this? They've always been various challenges in how to represent humans. Do you make them super realistic? Do you make them stylized? Do animals exist? Do humans exist at all in Sonic's world? And various games and cartoons and anime and comics have taken different approaches to this. Robotnibucks. I thought the currency in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog was Robiums. Was Mobiums. Okay, this is just so surreal to me. I mean, for not getting to see the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, this is like the only possible thing that could console me and not make this a total wash for me. And because this is probably only a half-hour special, I am gonna go ahead and just play the Master System version. I mean the Valley Bell FM sound mod version of Sonic after this. Huh. This the way the I mean Robotrop, it's just so bizarre seeing the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog version of Robotnik utter the word Robotropolis. You know what it's like? You know what? Like, I can't even describe. What's an equivalent thing? It is like. I can't even say what this would be like. It would be like. I can't even think of an equivalent. It's like really. Why was that was so and like why was Princess Sally in this? It's like Sega released a mandate that she had to be in this, so they put like a static frame of her for like a few moments and then had her have no dialogue. It's like she looked shocked, like, I can't believe I'm in this show. What happened? Like, I think they took a piece of stock art of Sally and just stuck it on the backdrop. It is so weird. Oh man. This is so interesting. I'm not even angry. And honestly, this surreal like robot and human designs. Like the robot designs are like akin to a lot of the robots, like the extra type robots that were in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. But one thing I gotta give him credit for, I think all these robots are actually all unique. Whereas in Sonic Sat AM, they generally just use the same swap bot design for like 90% of the robot foot soldiers. This is we're 13. We have 7 minutes left of this. This is so surreal. Robotnik's castle. I never thought of Robotnik as being the sort of person who would have a castle. A fortress, a base, an airship. This is... Wait, actually? Yeah, it said they were... Wait, okay. The tape? Okay, the cover says of this copy... You know what? I used a copy of a different VHS tape, and it says that there are 4 episodes. They probably included this and like a few... Either a couple of Sad AM episodes or a couple of episodes of Adventure to Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm not sure if the behind the scenes videos may or may not trigger the copyright system. No, Sonic Underground is good. It's just not available on... I don't think it... The only Sonic series I have on here is... the only Sonic series I have access to is Sonic X. Alright, you know what? After this, maybe I'll throw on the first episode of Sonic X. Because I have not seen that since, like, whenever Sonic X came out. I think I watched a dub version I downloaded off Kazaa back when that was a thing. Which lets you know, just me uttering that, how long ago this was. Like... Yes, I saw the Sonic... We were looking at some hieroglyphs before. Now they have to do these challenges. I feel like at this point they were just searching for stuff to do. I know Sonic Underground is good, but it's just it's like weird to me watching it. Like Sonic Underground to me, like I appreciate that it exists. But, like, I did not know about Sonic Underground until, like, 2005 or something like that. Years after the fact, and I'm like, wait, there was a third American Sonic the Hedgehog series. Really? That was a total... And it came out the same year as... And Knuckles was in it. Just seeing, like, clips on YouTube of Deke-animated Knuckles is so weird. Then what, let's see, yeah, I think next I'm gonna play an episode of Sonic X, and after that, I'm going to just jump into, playing, Sonic Master System Valley Bell's, FM sound mod. That's how I'm gonna go about the rest of the stream today. Because that's roughly an hour of content combined with the whole period of having to switch over what the stream was going to be. I mean, this is really, like, you see I'm just talking over it. See that? You said Next Gen just bought a new GPU? Alright. I mean, I finally have a PS4 that I've been playing off stream, and there are a lot of things about PS4 that, like, about PlayStation in general post PS2, because that was the last PlayStation 2 home system I had was... I mean, the last PlayStation home system I had was PS2. So it's like just getting used to the idea of installing games, and I thought, like, oh, I can just install the games, I can switch between them without having to mess with the disc, and it's like, no, I have to install the game and put in the disc for the specific game. And, like, you can see it, like, just the fact that I'm talking over this the way I am, that this is just kind of, really just kind of filler. There's no real significant content. Like, why was Princess Sally in this? And I remember the reason I was fascinated by this is because Princess Sally was on the cover of the VHS tape that I saw back in the 90s. Yeah, here's something I don't think we're ever gonna see modern. Yeah, no, that, like, and something about these human characters, this kid here, something about the way the characters, especially the humans, not counting Robotnik, something about the way they move is PS4 backwards compatible. I guess, I don't know. Serial Wars can tell you all about that. All I know is that I can finally play Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's all that I really cared about. I'm also playing the first one. Sally! Come on, dialogue. Please speak. She's not going to talk. She's not going to talk. What was that? She's just there, and she doesn't move or speak. This is so surreal. It's like Sega gave them an ultimatum that Princess Sally has to be in it, and they had no choice but to put her in, so they just stuck her in there. Yeah, even 2D animation now is generally done digitally. That is so... Why was Princess Sally in this? They really put her on the cover to make me interested in it. Because I would not have been interested in this or fascinated by this for so many years. Like, I think the only reason I didn't get Sonic Christmas Blast at Blockbuster was because there was always just something I wanted to read more, and I can only take out a couple of things at a time. Wow. That was... Where do they have? Are they gonna have the voices? Is there even a voice credit for Princess Sally? Why was she in this? Why was she in this? Oh my goodness. Yeah, they didn't even go specific voices for the characters. That was one of the most surreal experiences I ever had. Because I've been fascinated by this cartoon since like '96. Like Bill Clinton was president in '96. Like the only Game Boy was black and white. I don't even think Game Boy Pocket maybe just came out. So that's the end of the watch party, guys. Let's why don't I? So let's pull up. We'll do the first episode of Sonic X. Oh wait. Serial Walrus, you were deemed a Sodor lore reading? I am so sorry. You know what? I forgot to turn on my alerts or something. Serial Walrus, why didn't you mention that? 2 hours. For 2 hours, you've been patiently waiting, not mentioning that you were deemed the Sodor lore reading? Or did I turn it off because I knew this was going to be a watch party stream? Okay. So we got Sodor lore reading, which means we're going to play Sonic. We're going to watch episode 1 of Sonic X. But first, we have to do a brief interlude. Okay, where's... Alright. How much did the PS4 cost? It was at no cost to me. Yeah, it was at no cost to me, so that's the best price of all. Yeah, we have no game playing right now. I'll turn on the Mega SG. Because doggone. I'll turn on the Mega SG, and let's see. We've got. I have an excuse to pull out SG 1000. Where's Girls Garden? Othello. Pachinko. Yeah, there we go. So we're gonna have SG 1000 Pachinko running while we do the Sodor lore reading. Alright. So today, on Sodor lore reading, we're going to be learning... I have to scroll down in my document. We're going to be reading about the opening of the Mid-Sodor Railway. The line was opened throughout October 1880, with number 1, the Duke, hauling the opening train. They had hoped for a June opening following the Board of Trade inspection, but the inspector, disturbed by the scanty clearances in the mountain section, refused to allow this even though he could not fault anything else. When, however, it was pointed out by the Spooners that the clearances to which he took exception were, if anything, more generous than those which had been allowed and passed for on the Festiniog, he paid the line a second visit at the end of September, and reluctantly passed it on condition that similar safety precautions to those enforced on the Hedgehog should apply, namely that all carriage doors should be locked between Arlesdale and Ulfstead Road. This was no real hardship. On the upward journey, water stops were needed at both places anyway, while for down trains at Ulfstead Road, the routine brake test, which common prudence required before starting the descent, also gave ample time for attention to the carriage doors. Natives soon accepted this door drill as a matter of course, but visitors to the island were apt to complain at being imprisoned without trial. The company's servants, however, never heeded such complaints. To them, as Sudrians born and bred, tourists were decent enough folk, but like all foreigners, particularly English and Manx, they were probably not quite right in the head. Okay, I've never actually read that before. So we have a little xenophobia from the residents of the island of Sodor. And yes, everything I read in Sodor lore reading is like canonical, like lore from the original source material that was used, that inspired the later Thomas the Tank Engine television show. And I finished that just in time to run out of pachinko balls and get a game over in SG-1000 pachinko. So we're gonna go back to, okay, gonna go to the watch party, and we're gonna get rid of that. Gonna get rid of Sonic Christmas Blast. Let's see, what is this? Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna leave it all plain like this, and we'll just jump into we'll just watch the first episode of Sonic X, and then I'll get into Sonic the Hedgehog, the Valley Bell FM sound mod. I don't know if Valley Bell is a person or a team, but Sonic X. I don't know what studio made Sonic X. I'm just going to say 2002. I'm just going to assume. Actually, it'll say. Actually, let me change. Sonic X, then Sonic 1 on Master System. And so we got that. And okay. Alright, so we're gonna just pull out. Okay, start watch party. I don't know what model PS4 it is. I'm really not savvy enough to know the difference. All I know is it plays Final Fantasy. It's definitely not a PS4 Pro. It's a regular PS4. Underdog, a true. No, I don't want Sonic X, but you'll be a local park trying to see a fireworks display. I'll be spending 4th of July with some people I care about. I'll just I'll just keep it local. Any fireworks I happen to see will be a nice coincidence. So I'm going to start the launch party. I think this is this episode 1? I don't know if this is episode 1 or not. Wait, okay, 1. Wait a second. 2003, 2004, 2005. The first episode up here is Chaos Control Freaks. Why do I feel... Okay. You know what? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A dastardly deed, how to catch the damn scam. Alright. Beating Eggman Part 1, Beating Eggman Part 2. That sounds exciting. Satellite Swindle, and I see Eggman in a baseball cap. Alright, I'm gonna... Sonic... Season 1... Okay. Chaos Control Streak, Sonic X, Season 1, Episode 1. Sonic and Eggman... Set of crystals. I'll say it together. Alright, let's try this. I think this is Episode 1. Alright, let's see how this goes. I can't believe so many people are watching because this isn't even what I advertised. Okay. So it should be starting in a moment. Grab a snack and hit the lights. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Yeah, this has. I think this is. I remember this scene. This is episode 1. I have not seen this since 2003. And I was like holding out hope for some reason that this would somehow be like a continuation of the Sonic the Hedgehog series with Jaleel White and Jim Cummings as Dr. Robotnik. And the funny thing is, with the like, they kind of there's a parallel version that's not the same story and universe exactly of that universe that was running in Archie Comics from the early 90s up until like 2015 or something. And with the lore of the Archie Comics version of Sonic's world, it actually would have been conceivable that what we're seeing here could have taken place in that world. Because, spoiler alert, like, there ends up being some kind of explosion that sends them to the real world. I mean, heck, Eggman's mechs here look like doggone mobile suits. Like, these look like some pretty heavy-duty mechs. I think I watched this subbed, like a fan subbed Japanese version, so I know of this song, but I never really heard it before. Yeah, so this is kind of fresh. This is all pretty much new to me. I have not seen this since 2003 at the absolute latest. I did see the one episode that was based on a certain part of Sonic Adventure that's probably the saddest and most emotional part of the game, arguably, but I don't even remember Sonic Adventure that much because I only played it at a friend's house and I rented the GameCube version once. I played it once on Dreamcast at a friend's house. Because to me, this is like totally alien to me. Like, my love for Sonic, and by the way, I am actually wearing a Sonic shirt that looks like I've been wearing it since 91. It's actually from 2004 or 5, but it's nice and weathered down. It looks older than it is. But there are a bunch of people, there's like maybe 2 generations of people who grew up learning to love Sonic based on this, and I have no relation to or affection for this. I don't hate it. It's just like, this is just alien to me. Like, this has nothing... What I'm seeing here has nothing to do with why I've come to love Sonic. And the thing is, like, even the way the power ring worked right there is kind of similar to how they worked in Sonic Set AM. Because, like I said, like, you know, like the Dr. Robotnik design was actually probably closer to how he looked in Sonic Christmas Blast and Sonic Set AM. The design was closer to how he looked in the Christmas special than how Dr. Eggman looks here. But in, like, the Archie comic, like the Sonic comic I was talking about, the lore was so deep and complex that some of you may already have known about this. For those who are not familiar with Archie Sonic, it's a real rabbit hole you could fall into. Archie Sonic got so crazy that it got to the point where Dr. Robotnik and Dr. Eggman are literally different people. They are unique and distinct characters. And there are at least a couple of times where both Dr. Eggman and Dr. Robotnik have appeared side by side in the same episode. Sometimes they're working together, sometimes they're fighting each other and are like working against each other. Like, that's how crazy the Archie Comics lore is, but because of all this parallel universe stuff that was going on, is this Mike Pollock? I'm actually not familiar enough with the modern Sonic material to... I'm not familiar enough with like post 1999 Sonic material to be able to just casually tell, oh yeah, that's Mike Pollock doing Eggman's voice. And I have not played many modern Sonic games actually. I really wish I was watching the Sonic movie just because, like, Jim. Now I want to see if that trick where you use your VPN to change like where you're based in, if that work because people use that to watch stuff from different regions and like services like Netflix. If that works for Amazon Prime Video, I will come back and do the Sonic movie by putting my thing as it's coming out of Canada. But if that doesn't work, then forget it. We'll see. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I know I said that 3 times, but it's like I'm just calmly watching like the huge explosion. But here's the funny thing: I never don't quite know about the Sonic lore, the lore of Sonic X specifically, because I know it's not quite Sonic Adventure. I know it's a lot big parts of it are based on Sonic Adventure, but the fact that it implies that Sonic and all his animal friends and Dr. Eggman all come from another world, the implication I get is that that world is supposed to be Mobius, because everything prior to Sonic Adventure like assumes that Sonic takes place on a planet called Mobius, and that was canon, I guess, until Sonic Adventure, when I know they kind of like reviews like, oh, Sonic, it's different, it takes place in like South America is where Station Square was supposed to be, and but then like Sonic just turned into taking place on Earth, and so it's like I don't know what world Sonic is actually supposed to come from in this continuity. So they can talk. Like it's like they'd never. Why is it's just so weird? It's like Sonic is now this element here is weirdly. I wonder how to what extent this interacting with police officers. I wonder to what extent this inspired the concept of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I never considered that until now. I believe there's, I passively remember, I think there's at least one police officer character that might be friendly with Sonic in this. I wonder if this, like, inspired the idea of having the movie be like a buddy cop movie with Sonic and a human police officer. But it's like Sonic's acting like he's never seen a human before, but he knows Eggman is a human. So like, what world is Eggman and Sonic? What world are they supposed to be from if it's not like Mobius or something? And in a world where there are apparently no other humans. Did they really have to give him the lazy Irish accent? Like how typical can you get? What? And then there's also the fact that this is, I believe, an early 2000s 4Kids dub. So there's another layer of like potential cheese and questionable localization probably going on top of that. This is interesting. Yeah, if I'm I'll try to cheat. I'll do a test stream where I'll try to cheese it and see if changing my IP. But the thing is, whenever I put my VPN on for a place that's far away from me, the stream lags like crazy, and I start dropping like 25% frames, and that's even like just doing it from a state that's like right adjacent to whatever state I'm in. I start dropping like 25% frames, so I can't say how reliable doing a cheesing my location from Canada is going to be for doing a. Yeah, it's. It's interesting how like casually they're taking this. I'm watching like this is barely interesting to me. I'm watching a show about like cops now. Like I don't know if there's a. I mean, we're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog here, but it's just like there's a police department team that has like a pit crew and custom like high speed racers for catching. Yeah, it's anime. It's anime and it's children's anime at that. I mean, I'm not knocking it for that alone, and I'm not really even knocking it. I'm just saying it. I'm not feeling it. I couldn't sit through this series. Anyone who has nostalgia for it, bless you. Because the thing is, there are people who grew up with this as their first exposure to Sonic who will go back and look at Sonic and I've seen this happen a lot. Like on Tumblr, I see this a lot when I look up for Sonic Sat AM stuff. Will be like, what were they thinking? They made this bastardized American version of Sonic the Hedgehog. What did they ruined Robotnik? Who the heck is Princess Sally and Rotor? Like, who are these random animal characters? Like, how could they ruin Sonic so bad? Because real Sonic is like this, and none of this continuity existed at the time. At the time, each region worked with Sega to make like different versions of Sonic that they think would work good for the different regions. So, Japan had their own continuity for Sonic. I know the UK got the US made DiC cartoons, but they also had the Fleetway Sonic comic, which was its own continuity in and of itself. And in Fleetway, I know you got to a point where you had the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog design for Dr. Robotnik wearing the Dr. Eggman uniform from Sonic Adventure. So you got, and then like later on in Archie comics, you had things where you had Snively, who was Robotnik's nephew in Sonic Sat AM, interacting with not Dr. Robotnik, but the original like OG Genesis version of Dr. Eggman, like the Teddy Roosevelt Dr. Eggman with the simple red design and the yellow cape that came up to the front and those two yellow triangles. So you have like a SATAM only character in Snively interacting with the video game version of Dr. Robotnik or Dr. Eggman. Then you had like other parts of eras of Sonic Sat AM where you had Snively, who just wore a green sweater in Sonic Sat AM, wearing a green version of the Dr. Eggman uniform. And like I said, then you also have like instances where Dr. Robotnik and Dr. Eggman are like either colluding together against Sonic or actually fighting against each other. There's a point where Dr. Robotnik like comes back from another dimension and joins Sonic. Is like, listen, we have to stop Dr. Eggman. That guy's even crazier than I am. Like, so you have all these weird. No wonder I only watched this once in my entire life. And the fact that it was probably like a Japanese VHS tape that was fan subbed, then uploaded to Kazaa at like really low resolution probably didn't make me too much more excited. Is there a distinct reason Sonic's deciding not to speak? Like, he doesn't want to let them know he could talk? Oh, this is really animating it up here. Like, hi, I'm the new rival character you're going to be constantly facing off against. You want to beat me at a non-violent competition that's suitable for children's entertainment? Be it a card game, a foot race, an automobile race, a board game, whatever they come up with. Oh boy. Yeah, not much to say. I'm gonna actually. I don't like eating on stream. I'm gonna take a breath mint just because my voice is really worn out from all this. I wonder. I'd love to know if that line was in the original version or if that's something that 4Kids added because, like, I don't know, Fox's standards and practices made them put it in specifically, and they used that moment. I don't know. I'm interested to know what percentage of that writing was just a localization change. Because the writing and the voice delivery was very much like snarky, like, yes, we're making fun of standards and practices, who's giving us grief over this. Alright. I thought they're just racing him, and I thought the point was that they're trying to arrest him and stop him. And that's cool thinking, just creatively. Just have them fly past the windmills and then make so much energy the city lights up. Uh oh. I mean, I think landing in a pool would be a best case scenario for falling in from such a high distance. Oh, here's that human kid that I know is a major part of the show that I don't know his name. Is his name Max? I don't know. I never saw the Digimon movie. I heard the Digimon movie that they released in North America was like a weird like hack job of like two or three different movies with unrelated plots or something like that, or they took like a couple of different OVAs and like hacked them together into like a messy hack job incoherent mess of a film. And that's even before like you get into the dubbing aspect, because like I watched Digimon Adventure 01 and 02. Like the dub is nostalgic, but at the same time, the dub is so bad. Like, I mean, the dub is the dub allowed, because they made that dub, it allowed the show to be airable on American television, children's television, and be a moderate success. Now, in terms of faithfully representing the content, in a lot of ways, it's the dub of Digimon 01 and 02 is just absolutely horrendous. For instance, like a lot of times, just paper-thin censorship where it's very clear that they were told, oh, you can't have that, so they just have the characters talk around it in ways that didn't really fit with the story or were just obviously like the lamest excuses ever. And then there was, what is it? And also is the fact that basically every quiet moment of Digimon Adventure 01. What was that issue you're speaking of in the past with your ear? Oh, just that, I forgot if anything specific. I guess, I don't know, maybe at one point I might have been listening to my stream a little too loud, so I had to turn it down. Alright. Oh, yeah, there was, like, yeah, I guess, like, I was, like, too close to, like a trash compactor or something in the apartment, and I was just, like, and I had to run it over and over. I wasn't paying attention to the fact that, like, oh, yeah, this thing is loud. So, like, yeah. Okay, Sonic on Master System. FM sound mod. So, we will be playing. I gotta switch. I don't need another break for this. I'll just jump right into it. Okay. Plug in that. And then we will, okay. Go back to, no, we're not going back to anything. We're going to Sonic 1MS. Move the chat up a bit. Alright. So we remove the cartridge for Sonic for Game Gear and replace it with a cartridge for Sonic for Sega Master System, which is a purely symbolic gesture because I'm going to be playing the game off of an SD card, and I did not really think twice about that until just now, until I was saying it aloud. So we're going to be playing the Valley Bell FM sound mod of Sonic the Hedgehog. Actually, I know I need to put my headphones back in the other computer. There we go. So we're going to go to cores. We're going to go to SMS or SG-1000. And we're going to go down to, I'm not going to play Pachinko. I'm not going to play Monaco GP. I'm not going to play Girls Garden. Where's Sonic? Where's Sonic? Starjacker, Space Slalom. We will be playing Space Slalom. I have a special stream planned for that. A Space Slalom. Sega Flipper. Pack Car. Othello. Okay, it's up top. Oh, because it's MS. Sonic the Hedgehog. FM sound mod. Okay, here we go. Can all of you hear that good? Is the game overpowering my voice or vice versa? So just here, this is the original sound. And that's the enhanced sound. Now, I'm going to put this command in chat for anyone who's unfamiliar with this. FM sound. There we go. So that explains the history of the FM sound unit, completely obscuring my dumb face. Alright, so let's get into this. We're gonna go for this. We're gonna go for single credit runs. We're gonna go for single credit run. I'll just play the game start to finish either way. We're gonna start off with the intent of single credit runs. And you know what? In the interest of single credit runs. Wait, did I press? Did I accidentally press? You know what? I pressed start just to begin the game, and that switched it to the chiptune sound. Excuse me. So I had to restart over anyway. So, because I'm only going for single credit with this, I am not going to be... I'll go through the special stages in, like... Actually, I'm not going to go for the special stages. Save time up with... Now, let me just adjust my personal volume. So you can enjoy. Actually, I forgot actually what I wrote. Let me read what I even wrote for... It was a Japan-only Sega accessory released for the Sega Mark III, essentially the Japan's Master System in 1987, to lure audiophile gamers away from the Famicom. The FM sound unit equipped the Mark III with a Yamaha YM2413 sound chip, allowing for enhanced audio in compatible games. Though the FM sound unit never left Japan and Sonic the Hedgehog never released on the Mark III, Valley Bell created a mod demonstrating what Sonic would have sounded like with the FM sound mod. Okay, that's a pretty concise write-up there. I forgot... I really, I guess I know I wrote that myself. Oh wait, I did it again, I pressed start. You don't have to press start, because the thing is the Master System controller does not have a start button on it. And yes, this ROM will run on an actual Master System, believe it or not. I've seen it being done, which is pretty cool. The only, like, qualm I have about playing this version of the game, with the, this enhanced sound, is that this is a lot of people, I tend to find that it's not, like just today, earlier when I was playing the Game Gear version of this is often people's first encounter with the 8-bit version of Sonic the Hedgehog. So for that, oh no, I lost all my rings there, but because I'm not worried about amassing rings in this, as a result of the fact that I'm going for single credit anyway, not gaining access to the special stage is not a big deal. Because normally on the first stage, if I lose my rings on the first stage, I'll usually just restart. So, I know the... Wow, I got a... Okay, that's another difference between the Genesis version. The panel at the end always starts with Robotnik's face, Sonic spins it, and it turns into Sonic's face. In this version, Sonic, it starts off with just a question mark. It can either turn to Robotnik's face, which is nothing, you get nothing. A ring may appear, which may give you 10 rings. You may get a Sonic icon, which will give you a 1-up. And what is the other thing? Or if you have between 50 and 99 rings, you will get an exclamation mark, which means that you will be going to the special stage. Yeah, let me just grab a little... No, this one's already open. I have a few different water bottles laying around. Okay. I'm so weirded out by the fact that they put like two seconds long scenes that were like moments long of Princess Sally in Sonic Christmas Blast, and in both of those scenes she like wasn't even like animated. She was like barely even animated, had no dialogue. And then the summary called Sally Sonic's sister? Like, I really think the only reason that she could have possibly been in that special was because I know there was a brief period where Sega was apparently, like, Sega outside of Japan was really pushing for Princess Sally to be a major character in the Sonic franchise, to the point where they made merchandise of her. And even made, like, statuettes, like statues of her to be featured in a Sega theme park that at one point existed in Australia. So I know at one point Princess Sally was going to be part of the plot for Sonic Extreme before it got canceled. Thanks, Mr. Yuji Naka. I mean, thank you for kind of creating Sonic, but also kind of ruining, arguably, at least 2 different points. Like, he personally, like, vetoed a game based on the Sonic cartoon series that I was talking about. that, like, that they personally vetoed it. And I think that game, single-handedly, would have significantly enhanced the strength of the Sonic franchise outside of Japan. So, and then, okay. Now you see how different and more difficult. Wait, no, I can't even get up there. I need to go. Is it here? Where is it? At some point, okay. Yeah, there's no way I'm getting the 1-up at this point. I only have 20 seconds left. You see the different colored, hold on, I'll pause. You see that they're blue, yellow, green. No, there's no purple, yellow, and green springs down there that all has different strengths to them, the purple ones being the weakest. And the Game Gear version with the smaller screen, all of the springs are purple, and the boards are much simpler, much less challenging, far easier to get a perfect run through a bonus stage, which I consider a perfect run to be, you get 100 rings from collecting rings. You get the Sonic, the 1-up box that's hidden somewhere in the stage, at least in the Game Gear version. I don't know if that one, the Master System version, has the 1-up thing on it. As well as the oh no. Okay, I'm gonna restart just once because I actually died. And the reason I took that death was because I was jumping based on the spacing of the Game Gear version instead of the Master System version. Because you notice the screen is much bigger, and in the Master System version. Now, if I'm at this point, I'm just going to. Actually, no. Here's what I'll do. It's 2:30. Okay, it's almost 2:40. Starting from 3 o'clock onwards, if I lose a life, I will not reset. But if I lose a life between now and 3 o'clock, I will reset. And if I play up until 3 o'clock without losing, at that point I'm just going to stick with my playthrough. That's how I'm going to balance this between being a single credit, because I did not plan to really attempt single credit runs, and I don't really intend to try and practice for that in advance of me actually going through with it on the 15th, where single credit runs are going to be the focus of the stream. I'm going to do about an hour of single credit runs, about like 40-50 minutes of single credit runs. If I'm up to or past Labyrinth by an hour into the stream, then at that point, I will go ahead, and this green spring should get me up there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was just trying to jump at the wrong point. Yeah, if I'm past the halfway point of the game, at an hour in, I'm just going to try to continue to see how far I get. But if I'm less than halfway through, then I'm just gonna stop the stream. Stop the gameplay part of the stream, and I'm gonna go. Oh my gosh, there we go. Go ahead and just do my section where I do my top games that I've played since I started streaming, because the 14th of this month, which will be a Wednesday, is going to be my 100th stream special. And yes, I do keep track of that. And I've played 31 different games, and because it's almost a year and a month since I first started streaming. Because I first started streaming in May of 2020, and I've played 31 different games. And so I'm just going to rank those from the ones I enjoyed playing on stream the most to the ones I enjoyed playing on stream the least. Which may or may not coincide with how good the games actually are. Sometimes they're not necessarily one and the same for me, because I am judging my streaming experience in addition to how much I enjoyed the game. And for some of those games, I only ever played them on stream. So... And meanwhile, and I'm not saying this because I think it's a competition, but it's just sort of funny because Kyle recently was doing some rankings for all the games he's played. I think he's played like hundreds of different games at this point. Meanwhile, I've played 31. But he has been streaming about 2 years, whereas I've been streaming for about 1. maybe say a year and a half of regular streams from him. But he uses PC emulation at this point. I'm not against PC emulation, but when I use it, it's going to be for very specific situations and reasons, and it's going to be sparing. And then there's stuff like where I have the cartridge in the system, but I'm not actually playing off the cartridge. I'm playing Sonic on Master System. I happen to have the actual cartridge for that, but you see that I have a few SG-1000 games and a modded Master System game, as you're seeing here, running on an SD card off the Mega SG. So I'm effectively just using like ROMs from the internet for those, because with SG-1000, I'm playing those games is beyond my price range. I don't really like importing games from Japan. Like, if I were to buy actual cartridges for SG-1000, and a lot of the games I'm more interested in, such as Space Slalom, or go for thousands of dollars, and they are not thousands of dollars worth of content, and they're games that are by extinct companies that are never going to be released again anyway. And I'm not against, like Pete, he only plays on original games with original hardware, and I deeply respect that. But then there's some people who, I'm not gonna spend thousands of dollars to import a copy of Space Slalom for the which is SG-1000 is like a ColecoVision style system in terms of the level of horsepower and game depth. I'm not gonna pay thousands of dollars for a glorified ColecoVision game that the only online content for it in English is a review by Jeremy Parrish, who makes great material, by the way, flat out saying that this game sucks. I have not played it, but based on what I've seen of his review of Space Slalom, it actually looks like a game that I'd have a lot of fun with. I have a lot of ideas for unique ways to present the game that I think will add a lot of the fun to it. Come on, since Space Slalom, it's worth it. Hey, I mean, if you want to get me a copy of Space Slalom, I'm not going to say no to that, and ship it to me. If you're going to import a copy of Space Slalom from Japan and ship it to me from Canada, we could work out getting you my P.O. box. But, what is it? So this is where I died before because I jumped down the wrong thing to get the 1-up that I don't even need. Normally I'd have above and beyond 10 lives already. I'm not even focusing on getting extra lives this playthrough because I am even if this is not a single credit run, unless I'm playing my worst game of Sonic ever. Now, if you saw we're here earlier in the stream when I was fighting, look, I can't even get to him. It is a frame-perfect trick to be able to damage Robotnik from this point when he's flying up there. It is frame perfect. I've seen Fozon, who is a streamer here on Twitch, who is probably the best streamer I've ever seen play this game. I've only seen him manage to damage Robotnik up there a couple of times. It is like a literal frame perfect trick to get the single cycle Robotnik. And you only have to hit him once up there. You can hit him all the times you need to on the first go. Getting all the hits on him on the first go is a very dangerous trick that you could potentially lose lives on. Because this is a single credit run. I mean, the speed run is by very nature a single credit run, but because my focus is on survival instead of speed, I will be using the safety strats for the boss fights instead of the speedrun strats. And the safety strats for the boss fights are basically how you saw me handle the bosses before. Now, one of the Robotnik boss fight in Bridge Zone is probably the most radically different in terms of the, Green Hill Robotnik is different just because, here you actually can't just cheese him in one cycle. You actually have to wait for him to come down to damage him. But then in addition to that, the jungle boss fight's basically exactly the same as I remember it. Yeah, it's functionally and practically the same. The boss fight in Bridge Zone against Robotnik is actually significantly different just in terms of their actual fall hazards in the Master System version. Whereas there are no fall hazards in the small arena that they had to make for the Game Gear Screen Crunch version. But like I said, between the two versions of the game, for different reasons, I consider them equally, like, about of equal difficulty. Because there are things that make the Game Gear version easier, then there are different things in different places that make the Master System version easier. And in general, I hear that the Game Gear version is considered to be like the sort of dumbed down version, the less challenging version. But I actually considered the Master System version a little easier, a lot easier in some ways. But one of those definitely not being the fact that you have the darn ratchet scrolling vertical level in Jungle Zone Act 2. The auto-scroller in Bridge Act 2. Oh no. Okay, I might... No, because I screwed up the bridge, and there was no way for me to... It's 2:48? Okay. I mean, there's only one person active in chat now anyway. But actually, let me do this just so I can get a feel for how this will work. Okay, how this works. I never did a on-screen poll. Okay. Start watch party. There's manage poll. Okay. Watch poll. Create a new poll. Okay. Yes. No. Are you set and try for a perfect run? Yes or no? Duration. Minimum is 1 minute. So I'm gonna start that. Okay, I actually did it. Alright, so until then I'm just gonna play more Bridge Zone. And at least practice at that, getting the Cast Emerald. Hey, Kalaka Boy. I'm running a poll right now to see whether or not I'm going to restart, because I'm kind of softcore practicing for my 100 stream anniversary on Wednesday the 14th at 4 p.m. Eastern, in which I will be I'll be doing a ranking about halfway through the stream of my the 31 games I will have played at that point. And what I'm going to do is the gameplay content of the stream is me attempting single credit runs of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, how I took the death here is... Okay, that time, you know, I wonder if it's because I just... You know what, I just considered. It's kind of pointless. Yeah, I just considered that. It's kind of pointless attempting... Actually, no, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play this until 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, I'm gonna switch back to the Game Gear version, because I just realized I'm gonna be doing the single credit runs of the Game Gear version. So it's kind of pointless to practice with the Master System version, because the practice you need to get in is different. Because in the Game Gear version, like a lot of the platforms are slightly different, like the muscle memory is different. Like even though they look extremely similar, for speedrun purposes, because of the differences between the games, these are considered separate titles. So yes, I did get to practice making a poll for the first time on stream, which I'd never done before, but I will not be honoring that. At 3 o'clock, I'm gonna at 2:59. 52. Okay. 57. At 2:57, at 3 sharp, I'm going, at 2:57, I'll shut this down. I'll get out the Game Gear version. Oh, the poll ended. Let's see the results. Let's see if anyone even voted. Alright. No one voted in the poll. So, that's fine. You're not obligated to vote for it, and I'm not even disappointed, because I ended up making a decision that the results of the poll would not have impacted in the first place, but now I know how to make a poll, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, 3 sharp. I'll go ahead and swap over. Now these vertical purple springs are really insidious. You see these vertical springs here, that they cost me my run. Alright. Now, I don't like eating on stream, but I'm just using his breath mints for my voice because I've been talking a lot today. Because I've been streaming since 2? No, I'm streaming since 12. And I've almost up to 3 hours. For a lot of people, 3 hours is just like the first quarter of their stream. Or the first half of their stream. For me, when you get into 4 hours, it's a longer stream for me. Yeah, I'm making these fall on purpose. I'm not playing seriously right now. It's kind of interesting. After the stream, I have half a burrito from Chipotle, and I'm going to go ahead. I ate half it yesterday, but those burritos are so big, I don't eat big meals, so I can only eat half. So after the stream, I'm probably going to do something I rarely do. I really don't watch anime a lot, and certainly not. Yeah, so I'll just turn on. And I started watching. I started wanting to learn about Go when I was in college. And because I was learning about Go, I found out about the anime Hikaru no Go. And for a lot of the sort of anime nerdy friends I have, or had in college, a lot of them kind of, or a lot of people online in general, kind of watched or heard about Hikaru no Go and watched the show and then became interested in learning to play Go. For me, it was the opposite. I was learning about Go. I wanted to learn about it for years, but for a long time, there wasn't a lot of English language content about Go on, YouTube or web pages. Now there is. So for me, it was more like I wanted to learn about Go. And because I was learning about Go, I found out there's an anime about it, and it happened to be on Toonami Jetstream. So I ended up watching the first, maybe 30 episodes, and I stopped watching at a pretty critical point in the series in terms of plot, and I just sort of fell off of it. And then, the Toonami Jetstream service went away. It was a free-to-watch, ad-supported anime service hosted by Cartoon Network. But it was shows that they wouldn't necessarily show on television, because I don't think Toonami ever showed Hikaru no Go on TV. So it was for, a lot of more niche-type shows. And then I came to find out recently that Hikaru no Go is available to watch on Crunchyroll, but I guess such an obscure or especially popular selection that you don't have to subscribe to Crunchyroll to watch it, at least not when I checked about a month ago. You could just go on there and just watch it with ads for free. So I don't even have to pay for a Crunchyroll subscription. So after this, I may, and I am very interested in getting back into Go, because I now live local to some people I can actually play, traditional board games with, including Go. So I wanted to, get some. I think I don't have any Go books about the game, but I did have but I was interested in getting back into it, getting some books about Go, like how I got some books about chess a while back, actually learning it and trying to get into it. Because it took me, it wasn't until 2013 or 14, I think, that I started getting into chess. Well, I was interested and fascinated by chess my whole life. I just never, like, really got down and got some books about chess and started learning about it. You know, and actually being able to, like, I got to get to a point where I could sit across from a table at a chessboard and play a game of chess. And I don't mean, like, actually look at the board and see the lines of influence and power and understand which pieces matter in this situation, which don't. I cannot play chess competently at that level, but I could make legal move after legal move. And that was already, I was just thrilled to get to that point alone. And then Go is just so, like, abstract in the sense of just the sheer freedom of available legal moves at any given moment. Okay. Alright, I want to change. I should have actually started with this even earlier. Why is it? Okay, Streamlabs is being slow right now. Please switch over. Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, properties. I'm just getting rid of the coming up next thing. Because my goal was to start at exactly 3 o'clock. Okay, Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, we're just going to change out some tags. Okay, we're going to add 1 credit clear. Sonic the Hedgehog on gear. Single credit attempts. Update. Alright. And at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time sharp, I'm going to start playing. I might not talk... Oh, wait. I have to get rid of... Gotta get rid of... No. Okay. Where's my ticker? Where's my ticker? Where's my ticker? I made my ticker go away. Oh, come on. It's 3 o'clock sharp, doggone. Where's my ticker? What did I do to make the ticker go away? I cannot have a stream without my ticker. Oh, wait. You know what? I have to scroll it over. It's a stupid thing. It's this dumb thing it does where if I change what's in there, it, like, makes the... Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. Now I just have to scroll it over so it's not blocking out my face. Run cartridge. And we started... I didn't start on 3 sharp. But we started within... Before 3:01 rolled about, so... I'm gonna be a little more quiet. I'm gonna take this a little more serious. Oh, this is a little too quiet. Gotta turn this up a bit. I think. Because this is a little quieter than the modded version. Alright. Now, going straight from that version to this one, you could really see the effect the screen crunch has in terms of the way the game is presented. And by the way, my intent, and I'm going to be really quiet for this until the end of the stream, my intent is, when I take an L in this, unless it's just to practice for a moment or two more, when I take an L, I will end the stream. So this is the tail end of the stream right here. If I lose before beating the game, I will restart. Unless I'm at a point that's particularly useful that I'll need practice in. Coming up next, the Sonic movie presented by Super Change STSH. Yeah, so in general, I am going to be a lot more quiet than I usually am. I will respond to chat, though, so don't be afraid to say anything in chat for those watching. But I'm going to take it a little quiet, take it a little more seriously, because I am going to see how far I can get at a single credit run. And in bonus stages, I'll try to get to the bonus stages just because those would be a great opportunity for a chance to talk for a minute or catch up with chat if I need to. Not that my chat moves that fast anyway. But just because it's, there we go. Gotta continue that I'm not gonna need one way or another. Because honestly, absolutely nothing is at stake in a, Now, I'm really interested in going online and just looking up reviews of Sonic Sonic Christmas Blast on YouTube from, like, satirical reviewers and the like. I mean, here I'm not really at risk of anything, especially when I have a shield up. How I still collect all these, no, actually, no, I'm gonna go for the castle. I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, I just don't like being too quiet. Like, I'll talk, like, I will shut up when I know I need the focus for the moment. Because I just love giving my opinion and takes on the game as I'm playing it. And for those who have not yet checked up on my upcoming schedule, I think you might enjoy what I'm going to announce for my next stream, which will be, you know, whenever this game ends, whether I take an L or if I actually manage to beat the game. Now, if I manage to beat the game today, it would be kind of awkward because I did schedule specifically for my one on stream to be these Sonic 100% runs. Run attempts. So if I actually do beat the game today, that would be a little odd. Because I really don't play or practice on this game outside of... Like, yeah, I'm getting all these bonus points. None of this matters. Like, yeah, I can get more lives and get continues, but if I take an L, I am going to end the stream right there anyway. And whenever someone comes in, like, I love, like the Fozon, like I was saying, Fozon, who is the, you know, one of the top players in the world of this game, in terms of the speed scene. Like, he posted a video of a new record he got in a particular stage of this game, and one of the comments, actually it was the Master System version, so a version of this game, and because this is the Game Gear version, and one of the comments was like, wow, what's this weird, like bootleg version of Sonic? Was like, and like, no, like, this was really, like, released and officially authorized by Sega. And given that this is really the first appearance of, there we go. No, I almost got the swag strat. Oh yeah, let's just go ahead. We already got a 1-up that I won't need. Getting the other 1-up would have just been cherry on top. Another one of those stages where I really don't have to worry about talking while I'm playing, because this is something that, I mean, this is the first boss I ever defeated in video games. It took me several tries to figure out how to do it, but now it's pretty much the easiest boss fight in history. Pretty much impossible to lose, unless you're a very small child, which is what I was when I first played this. If my audio isn't balanced good between my microphone and the game audio, Just let me know and we could adjust it on the fly and experiment a bit. Okay. Stage, I mean, this is when I was just playing the Master System version, this was the stage where I took my L and ended up restarting my attempt because of it. And I mean, we're like it's 3:08 at this point, which means we're basically 8 minutes in the stream because it started at 3, but I started more around the lines of like 3:50, like 3 o'clock and 55 seconds, or like 50 or 40 seconds. It was definitely in the back half of that minute. So you can basically say I've been playing this to round more fairly up about 7 minutes at this point. Alright, now we just gotta get that Chaos Emerald. Gotta get through the physics puzzle. And there we go. Didn't need it, but it's just good practice to get it. And I don't know if that's worth bonus. Okay, now my fear here is that I'm going to. There we go. Like, I'm used to that time. Like, because the playfield is so much bigger on the Master System. When I was using that Game Gear timing, I just ended up screwing it up. Because you really only have 2 chances to get that Chaos Emerald. You have the first block. You have to fall, and then you have the second one. By the time you get to that third block on the breakaway bridge, it's probably very difficult, if not impossible, to actually collect the Chaos Emerald safely. And once again, like I was saying before, now look at all the springs are the same color. Stages I normally do. I mean, I'll take that in exchange for actually surviving the regular stages. And yes, getting a time over in the bonus stage, I am distinctly not counting that as a death. Something has to happen in which Sonic loses a credit. 4,600 points. I don't really pay much attention to my score. I'd love to go, and I've only played through Sonic from beginning to end. I mean, it's one of my most, besides from Versus Pinball, this is probably my most frequent go-to game. But I've only beaten this so many times. Yeah, so I could probably go through my stream archives of all the times I completed this and compare my high scores. And I guess to be reasonable, I guess I'd only compare the ones where I beat it with all the Chaos Emeralds. Because the first couple of times I beat it, I did not have all the Chaos Emeralds. Okay. 7, 28, 38. Yeah, those coin boxes make a huge difference in your coin count. I mean, your ring count very quickly. Okay. I know one thing I'm glad I started practicing. I didn't plan on doing practice for the single credit run. One thing I will say is that I guess getting used to the frustration of getting like 12 minutes into a game and then having to restart from the beginning, I guess that's something I need to get used to now. Because even just the first time I had to do it, like just doing these unplanned practice things, was like, ooh, wow, that kind of hurts. That's kind of frustrating. It's kind of upsetting. So, and it's good that I at least got that out the way, adjusting to that psychologically, because I didn't really consider that something I'd have to adjust to. I don't know why I bothered. I really probably, I honestly should no longer activate the bonus stages, because they're really just a waste of time at this point. I mean, they're a waste of time in general. I'm just gonna go straight, I'm gonna end this as quickly as possible. And which in this stage is pretty easy to do. Oh my god, we're not. Yeah, I'm not even gonna go for the bonus stages anymore. If I know I'm right near the end of the stage, actually no, I'm not going to take damage deliberately, because like I have a shield right now. That shield is could save my run. I mean, that shield, whenever I take the damage and lose that shield, it's going to have saved my run. So I'm not going to go out of my way to avoid taking damage. I mean, go out of my way to take damage at the end just to get fewer rings and not access the bonus stage. And Sonic, it's not visible. You can see it now. I'm looking at my broadcast feed. He does have the shield on right now. It's flickering like crazy. I never really quite found an ideal frame rate setting solution to make that work. So it's not flickering, but considering all the problems people have had with Elgato's, and meanwhile I just basically plug mine in and never think about it again, I'll take my Elgato tech support experience. I'll take a little flickering in Sonic the Hedgehog. There we go. Hey, Azurist, thanks for the sub. You subscribed using Twitch Prime, which is great. Yeah, anyone, if you're not familiar with what Twitch Prime is, anyone who's subscribed, anyone who's paying for Amazon Prime, each month, you get to choose any streamer you want. You could subscribe to them at no extra cost to you. So to use that Twitch Prime sub, you don't have to pay anything out of pocket that you aren't already paying for Amazon. You get a no extra cost sub once per month, and Twitch is part of your benefits for being part of Twitch. Now, Azurus, I don't know if you're available at a computer to chat or anything, but did the watch party stuff work on your end? I am curious to know, and if not, it's not the biggest deal because you ended up watching the Sonic movie anyway. It turned out not to be available if you were even there for that. And if not, we'll talk about it later. I'm not... Oh my goodness. I decided I wasn't going for that one-up box. I almost landed on some spikes. Okay. Now this is where I gotta be more quiet, because this is where the real hazards come about. You're getting impatient, Sonic. I'm just trying not to get you killed. Going at the spring. I mean, when I cleared Bridge Zone, it was 3:15, so it was basically exactly 25% through the estimated runtime of the game. I know it takes a little more than an hour, but I say like roughly an hour is a general rule of thumb. Like in scheduling this, they're saying, okay, Sonic movie will basically take, the Sonic playing through this game will take basically an hour. And then we'll watch the movie, which didn't end up happening, but we had fun anyway. In the Master System version, you jump back up there. In this version, you have to go back across on the log. There's no skill involved in balancing on the log. Once you jump on the log safely, you are locked in with the log until you jump away from it. So there's not much of a risk in terms of traveling on the log. Okay. We're 3:18. We're almost 20 minutes into this. One thing I do need to do is I need to actually figure out exactly how many stages they are, so I could have some kind of progress meter. I guess I'd have to manually update as to how far through the game I am. That would make an exciting addition. Now, if I have the time and desire to do that, I don't know. But and once again, I always do love the backgrounds, just the lush greenery. Especially the pears and apples, or tomatoes, whatever they're supposed to be. It really gives this a lush feeling, sense of a lush jungle, even though this is simple. Well, for 8-bit graphics, these are among the most advanced ever made. But, for a simple game with only so many colors, they did a good job giving me the sense that I'm going through a lush jungle. Need some water. Fortunately, this is not a ratchet scroller, so if I lose, it's not instant death. If I fall, it's not instant death. It's just possible death. And I do have my shield going into this, which is always a good thing. For the purpose of this challenge run, having a shield is the closest thing I could have to having a 1-up. At least in terms of enemy damage, because a shield will not protect me from damage inflicted by enemies. Yeah, Master System, that would have been a death right there. Fortunately, we're not playing Master System. Alright. Okay. Very interesting notice on the phone. Okay. Alright, we'll deal with it later. I'm not even trying to collect the 1-up, I'm just trying to get... Okay. Do I have to go across this way? Getting a lot of lag from the waterfall effects. Oh man. Now. No, I can't really at this point. Is it? You know what? Jump. Is it worth it? Yeah. Can I go back down there and get that shield? There was a shield down there. Okay. I don't know how far along the shield was. There was a shield I didn't bother collecting. Oh my gosh. That's the run. That's the run. Because I tried to go back for the shield. Because, okay, my line of thinking was... Okay. I know it's not worth going back for the shield now. Okay, that's the run, and that's the stream. Now, my commentary on that is... My thinking was... If I could go back and get the shield, my thinking was, okay, I'm doing... That's 22 minutes in, I lost the run. Okay, so that was 22 minutes. Is my thinking right? There was, like, Jungle Zone, I have to check, like, I have to check exactly, but Jungle Zone might well be what you consider getting to the start of Labyrinth might well be the halfway point of the game, right? I didn't want to just leave. Like, I know that if I wasn't trying to do something stupid like I did just there, like, if I didn't go for that, I basically had the end of this level in the bag. I was really at no risk, and plus I had rings anyway if I got damaged. But my thinking is my first death I take in this game is usually from Jungle Robotnik fight, which is the next stage after this. So I thought, do I risk getting a perfect run on Jungle Robotnik? Or do I go back and get the shield? Because the shield follows me from stage to stage. Is it worth... I think it's having the shield in Jungle Robotnik. That's going to be critical to my strategy, is having the shield for Jungle Robotnik. It might be to the point where if I don't have the shield at the end of Jungle Act 2, I might restart right there. Because Jungle Robotnik, Jungle Act 3 is going to be such a major restart point for me. But I know if I lose the shield and I'm past the checkpoint, because the shield was before the checkpoint, don't bother going back to get the shield. If I don't have a shield by the end of Jungle 2, I'm going to actually restart preemptively, because I'd go as far as to say that Jungle 3, the Robotnik fight, is going to be maybe as far as a 50% reset point. But actually, no, that logic, I'm not going to go for that logic, now that I'm thinking about it, because if I clear Jungle 2 without a shield, then the worst that's going to happen is Jungle Act 3 is, like, the Act 3 in these games, in this particular game, is nothing but the boss fight. So I just play for, like, no more than a minute further, and either I beat Robotnik Jungle with a single run, or I don't. And I just restart there anyway. So why restart and deny myself the chance of getting Robotnik in a single run, which is, you know, what you have to do if you don't have a shield, because there are no rings in the boss fight stages. Yeah. Because with Labyrinth, I basically don't die in Labyrinth. Either there's maybe a 25% chance. Oh, you have audio feedback now? Is that, try refreshing and see if the audio feedback comes back, because as far as I could see, there's nothing that would have changed on my end that would cause feedback. Is it with the game and my microphone, or just with the game, or just with the microphone? As far as I'm aware, there shouldn't be any feedback. I didn't change anything on my end that should trigger feedback. So once okay, that's Azure Rest. Azure Rest, make sure that you don't have a second tab open that has my stream running in it. Make sure you don't have a second tab with my stream in it. Yeah, just double check for that. But at this point, yeah, and if I could get through, if I beat Jungle Robotnik, whether I have the shield or not, and Labyrinth, the only damage I take is if I'm being impatient with the spikes that come up from the ground in the tunnels, or if I'm being impatient with the rotating spike ball hazards, or with the underwater fireball shooting lion sculptures. And really, if I'm just reckless with my air supply, is really the only realistic chance I have of taking death in Labyrinth. Aside from there's a slim chance of me sometimes taking a death to the Robotnik. Now, if I get to Scrap Brain Zone, Scrap Brain I consider a non-concern. Scrap Brain, I rarely even take damage. It's really just going to be about Skybase, where I sometimes take hits from lightning, or really it's Skybase 3, especially when I'm doing the under the path beneath the Robotnik's airship. Sometimes I take damage from there if I get stuck on a platform and there's a bullet coming at me and I don't have space, I can dodge it. My real concern after Labyrinth is basically just, like, let's say a 30%, let's say, 40% chance of taking damage or death in Skybase, and a maybe 50% chance of taking damage or death in the final Robotnik fight. So really, if I can get through, once I beat Jungle Robotnik, that is pretty much the main hurdle of the game, aside from the final couple of stages. So we're gonna call it there. I'm gonna move over to my end card. So, next time I will be, next time what will I be? Next time I will be streaming, I guess, yeah, so I'll be streaming Versus Pinball, and I will be streaming, Sky Skipper. Sky Skipper is a rarely discussed Nintendo arcade game from 1980. The artwork you see there is from the side of the cabinet, actually drawn by Shigeru Miyamoto himself. This is the 40-year anniversary of this game. It is an extremely obscure game. In fact, it was at one point believed to potentially be lost forever. The fact that this game still exists is kind of a triumph of game preservation. Even just, I think there's only one Sky Skipper cabinet out in the wild, in the hands of a collector who actually was able to reach out to Nintendo, who actually personally helped him restore the game, his cabinet, by providing original art for him. And there's one cabinet out in the wild in the hands of a collector who takes it to conventions, not right now because of COVID restrictions. And also, there is one cabinet, one board, I don't even know if it's a full cabinet, that's archived in the Nintendo. This was the cabinet. Yes, I'm going back to weekly streams as I was before. My schedule in general is going to be every Saturday I plan to stream at noon, then every other Saturday at every other Wednesday at noon I'm going to be playing I'm going to be playing at 4 p.m. on Wednesday. So the next Wednesday I'll be streaming is on the 14th, which will be my 100th stream. I'll be doing a whole stream of Sonic the Hedgehog 100% attempts. Alongside, about halfway through the stream, I'm going to be ranking the 31 or 32 games I've played on stream so far, from my favorite to least favorite to play on stream. And so next Saturday, it'll be a little, maybe a half hour at the most of Versus Pinball, maybe an hour and a half of Sky Skipper, which is the first time I've played it. The fact that this game was preserved was a triumph of game preservation, and Nintendo has, I think, only one functional board of this game, which they dumped and provided to Hamster for the Arcade Archives release a couple of years ago. I've only seen a few moments of video footage of the ROM that it was floating around being played on MAME before it was available legitimately through the Arcade Archive service on Nintendo Switch. And from the very little footage I've seen, there is actually a PG-rated swear word in the game, which is not censored for the release. I don't know if this is PG. I don't know if this is going to be like a T-rated game because of that swear word. Just so you know, it's damn. A character says damn in the game. I don't know if it'll be if it's a T-rated game or if it's an E10 plus, because Shadow the Hedgehog, Shadow says damn every time he dies, and that game was rated E10 plus. So I'm going to send you off to, let's see, who's around right now. I'm going to send you off to Mama of Disney, who's a streamer I've watched a couple of times. Her and her daughter are both streamers, and she's great to watch, so I'm going to send you off to them. So I'll see you next Saturday at noon, and thank you very much for watching.